a K-pop song because the American music industry doesn't understand free advertising. So we would get dinged if I was playing an American song, but okay.
So I watched your guys' broadcast for Kokidi Kokala, and it was interesting. I reviewed that movie a couple of months ago.
Which broadcast about what?
Kokidi Kokala.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the one that you were talking about that my mother said she couldn't take it. She was like, I'm not gonna watch that. She said, Crystal was talking about some movie, and I said, oh no, that's not for me. I can't take it.
I like your mom.
Turn that down. See if anybody's in the room yet. I can't tell whether this is. Oh, no, let me go to the channel. And that way I'll be able to tell whether we're live because I can't see if anybody's in the chat. So we'll see. Okay, it says we're live. And it has 3 people watching. Hey, what's up?
Hey, Tony. We're just like chatting around.
Yeah. All right, so now I'm going to change the orientation to see if this works. Let's do this.
Hi, Rachel. Hi, Tony. I'm sorry.
Hi, Rachel. There we go.
Hi, Tony.
All right, how's that look? I'm going to let the trailer play as we start talking. It's not going to have audio. There we go. Alexa, stop. Hello, everybody. I hope y'all finished Squid Games.
Hi, Esvon.
Hey. Hey, Mafal Medom. Am I saying it right? Mafal Medom? Tony T, what's up? And Richter Phallus. That's a new name. I haven't seen you before. Nice to see you.
Hi, Richter.
Let me pull up my notes because I had to take notes on this. This series.
This was such an incredible show. Like, oh, God. And I can't believe you were saying that this show is like now Netflix most stream show ever. If they remake this show, I'm going to be super freaking out.
I'm not watching.
Swear to God.
I'm not watching
better
it.
Not be made as an American remake.
Not even. I'm gonna pretend it didn't even happen if it's an American remake.
Exactly.
Where's my hello, Tony man? I didn't say hello. Hey, Tony man. How far did you get in the series? Because I know you weren't sure whether you were going to be able to finish it in time. But I noticed that some of the episodes were 1 hour and some of the episodes were 30 minutes.
Yep.
Because I was nervous too.
It was every other.
So I want to start with talking about the genre this is in because, like, this is a true mystery suspense thriller. And I mean,
sorry guys, I was doing laundry. I think my dryer is almost done. But yeah.
Hey, this is what happens when you're live. I was gonna say we used to do mystery suspense thrillers from the 30s on up until like really strong to the 60s. There was still a few happening in the 70s. Then there was a lull, and then there was a resurgence in the 90s with like 7 and 8 millimeter and Cube and Face Off. Mm-hmm. And now this has that same feel of being a mystery suspense thriller.
I love Face Off. I'm gonna have to watch that again.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen Cube?
I have.
Yeah, this was giving me Cube vibes too. I definitely was on the edge of my seat. I had to take several breaks. I could not binge this.
I binged it. I completely binged it. And then there was another show that had games in it too, but it was different. Like my friend was like, it was better. Let me see what it was. It's hold on, guys. But I liked Squid Games better than this other that she told me to watch. And I'll tell you what it is in a minute.
Oh, while you're doing that, I'll answer Mafalmi Dome's question. He asked, "What's this about, ladies?" Squid Game is a South Korean mystery suspense thriller about these people who are given the opportunity to play a game, and they win. I want to say it was 48 billion won, something like that. But the thing is, if you lose the game, you die.
Yep. The other movie that she told me to watch was Alice in Borderland, and it's the same premise of it's kind of the same premise of Squid Games, because these guys are in a game that is going to define if they live or they die. But in Squid Games, these guys are brought to a facility where they play a game in the arena, and in Borderland, it's like the whole Earth is in an apocalyptic event, and they're the only ones left in the city. That's how it starts off. These 4 guys are like having a bad day. They go and they meet up, and then they're like goofing off in the bathroom. And when they come back out, the whole entire town of Tokyo is devoid of people. They're the only ones who are still there. So if you guys like Squid Games, check out that other show on Netflix called Alice in Borderland, and then let us know what you guys think about that as well.
Yeah, I did hear about that, and I started watching the first episode. I don't think I finished it because I ended up having to do something, but I did watch the first part of the first episode. Okay, I'm going to pause this for a moment while we get into the first part of the video and just change the orientation back because that might be distracting. I have a bunch of
Yep, you're right, Tony.
48 billion won translates into 40,653,878.40. Thank you. What else was I going to say? Oh, we could go over the characters because I did write those down because my memory is crap. So I knew I had to write it down. Yes. Our first main character, which Tony Man mentioned, number 456. He is a down on his luck divorced dad with a gambling addiction named ji-hun. There's also a pickpocket girl who's having a hard time in life as she just escaped from North Korea with her 10-year-old younger brother, and her name is sae-byeok. And there's a low-level gangster guy. You don't find out too much about him other than that he's a gangster and he's an asshole for most of the thing.
Number 67.
Yeah, deok-su. And there's a loud mouth lady who's my favorite. She's often very brash and blunt about her manner, and that's Myeok.
So she was my favorite character because as we get along in the episode, she made a pact. The pact was broke, and then she promised something that was going to happen. And the way she made that happen,
she delivered.
Phenomenal. I was like jumping up and down. I was like, yes, yes. I mean, she said she was going to do that, and she did that. I was just like, I am in love with her. And then, like, the thing about, I think, which is so heart-wrenching about Squid Games is they take our child, like some of these games, like there's 2 of them that we didn't play here in the West. But most of those games we played as kids, right? And then they like distorted that in such a way where it just like snatches away your innocence. And the player 101, like, in his scene where because there's like the first scene where they're playing marbles.
Wait, let's not get to that yet.
Okay. Sorry. I wasn't gonna say anything like because it's spoilers, and there are some people I noticed in the comments who haven't read it all.
Yeah,
but,
so
like,
we'll do like we'll wait. I'll let you guys know when we have the spoiler section.
Okay.
Let me get through the other couple people. There's a young Pakistani man who works in a very dangerous and unethical factory. Like, dude lost 3 fingers working in that factory.
Pissed me off so bad.
Spoilers.
Sorry.
He has a wife and a baby, and his name is Ali. And there's an elderly man who you were just speaking about who's super happy to participate as he has a terminal illness. Player number 1. He has
names. Yeah, player number 1.
He has a terminal illness, so he doesn't want to deteriorate, and he just would rather go this way. And his name was Ilnam. And there was a businessman who is in extreme debt due to some really poor business dealings, and his name is Sang-woo, and he's also the schoolmate of who was the first guy, ji-hun.
I thought they were cousins.
Oh, are they cousins? Maybe they were cousins. So. I think you're right. And then there's a side plot of an investigator whose brother went missing, and he goes undercover to try to find his brother. His name is Jun-ho. That's the thing that was getting me confused. The name between the similarity between ji-hun's name and Jun-ho's name. I kept on mixing them up. Not the characters, but their names.
Yeah, I was just.
I don't remember the numbers at all. I only remember player number 1 and player number 456. The other ones, I don't remember their number.
Yeah.
Oh, did you notice the salesman that was in the subway that played that first initial game with him with the cards? Did you recognize him from something else?
I didn't, but he's fine as hell.
He is the father from Train to Busan. And speaking of fine, I have to show you this video. Let me respond to some of the comments while I pull up the video of that actor. He was just recently at Fashion Week.
Red light, green light was my favorite too, Tony. And you should see some of the videos that they're making on TikTok about how they would die. Like they have like the green screen, and they have like 2 players playing TikTok, and they're playing red light, green light, and these 2 girls are playing, and a song Throw That Ass, and her circle comes on, and she just shakes her head, and then she starts dancing, and then she's shot. And then like a bunch of little like stuff on TikTok that they're like making small videos about how they would fare or how they would die in red light, green light.
Mm-hmm. And you're right that the businessman was also had warrants for his arrest. Now, this is the actor's name is Gong Yu, and he was at Paris Fashion Week. Check this out. Suit is clean. Look at that.
Jeez, like if he can't do anything, he can dress.
Yes.
Oh my God, he was the dad. He was the dad.
Yeah, from
the thing is,
let me fast forward.
He had such a small role that it didn't dawn on me because he was there. And hopefully you guys all seen the game, at least this first episode, when player 456, when he finally wins, he forgot about the money because it was a slap game, right? Like every time you lose, you would get slapped. And so like right at the end, right when he finally won, he was so excited to slap him back, and the guy's like, don't you remember you won some money? So how these guys get trapped into this game is like Sasha was oh my God, look at him.
When's the last time you've seen an American actor have people outside screaming for him? It's been a minute.
But it should be happening again soon because Constantine is coming back, and Keanu Reeves is gonna be the star again. So
Constantine? Yeah, I was thinking about when he's coming back in the Matrix.
And he's coming back as Constantine.
Jeez, he's working. And John Wick 4 is coming out. Dude is working.
He really is. So what I was saying that 456 is in debt. And so when he's approached, all of these people are actually are desperate. That's how they get sucked into this game, because there's no other way that you would be they're so desperate that they're not thinking like what could go wrong, why did you pick me, they're, you know what I mean, they're entering these contracts, basically signing a deal with the devil without knowing the terms and the conditions of the contract. And so and each person that's involved in the game has something that's so desperate that it makes them want to participate in these games.
There's one other thing I want to show you before we get into it. I noticed it during one scene, but this other girl picked up on a lot more. There's some mistranslations. Like there's one scene.
I saw that video too. Yeah.
Yeah. I picked up on it when
she's a native speaker. That's why she picked up on it.
No, but I mean, even some of the things like, there was one term. I remember the guy, he called the curly haired lady Ajuma, and they translated it as grandmother. That's not what Ajuma means. We're Ajuma. Ajuma means middle age, means that you're in your 40s and 50s, and which she is. But the American translation on the screen said grandmother. And I'm like, no, that's not the same thing. They actually have a word for grandmother. I forgot what it is, but they have one. But I'm gonna
but
play.
That happens with any movie that you watch with subtitles. There's gonna be some mistranslations.
Yeah,
like
but some of the mistranslation has really changed the context of the sentence. Like for one when she said, well, let me play the video. There's one that it changed the context of the actual scene. They have to get better with that. I don't know who they hired to do the translation, but you can kind of mess up the storyline if you don't get the context right.
Right.
I know that's the wrong one. Oops. I don't know why I had that still open.
I'm nodding my head at Tony where he's talking about his
gangster.
Wait, repeat that. Sorry.
I'm just reading the comments and I started to nod because Tony said that he liked the emo North Korean girl that joined the other girl in the tug of war. That was really cool. I can't wait till we get into some of these episodes.
The games, yes.
Right, because of the dynamics between the team members and the decisions that it made them make. I was just like, I was crying my eyes out, you guys. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Mm-hmm. Listen to how the contextual changes that this girl picked up
a
on.
lot, and it gets very sterilized. And randomly, like even things that like aren't even that bad. Like she says, like, what are you looking at? It's turned into go away, which might seem arbitrary, but like everything she says is not really aligning. And so you're missing a lot of this character and what she stands for. But here's the one part that I think is a huge miss. Here she is trying to convince people to play the game with her, right? Right here. The translation says, oh, I'm not a genius, but I can work it out. What she actually said was, I am very smart. I just never got a chance to study. That is a huge trope in Korean media. The poor person that's smart and clever and just isn't wealthy. That's a huge part of her character. And almost everything she says is like being botched translation wise, but you just missed, like the writers, all they want you to know about her is that. You know what I mean? It seems so small, but it's like the entire character's purpose of being in the fucking show. Here's one more thing that got me real fucking fucked up, and then maybe I'll do more of these if I have time, okay?
동네에서 구슬이랑 딱지랑 같이 쓰는 친구 말이야. 니꺼 내꺼 없이 깐부. 기억나네요. 저도 동네에 한 놈 있었어요. 저는 제일 친했던 거. 그래, 그 깐부.
So they missed a really small line there, but it's like literally the point of the whole episode. 깐부, 니꺼 내꺼 없이. What that translates into is there is no ownership between me and you. Not we share everything. That is a huge miss. That's like the entire point of this fucking episode. It's a very small sentence, but now it doesn't even make sense. Like what? It doesn't make sense. Like that is such a difference in ideology that the writer is trying to get across to you. Do you know what I mean? It's making me so angry. I have no idea why. I need to lay down. Anyway, let me know if you like this video. I can make more if I have some time. If it's interesting. There's so many more examples. It's like every other.
So shout out to her. That is
like to say something about that, right? So she is Korean and she understands her culture. Us from the West, even if it was translated correctly, we might not pick up on that because we don't understand the culture. Like when a lot of people went to watch Candyman or even like Get Out, and us, the white audience missed a lot, even though there was no translated needed because everyone was speaking English. They missed a lot because they don't share our experience. And I think even though if it had been translated correctly, I wouldn't have known that if she had said, I'm smart, I just didn't have a chance to study, that wouldn't have changed how I felt about her. I loved her. She was one of my favorite characters. But because I don't know Korean culture, that wouldn't have made a huge impact on me.
But I think certain things are kind of universal though. Because if you say I'm smart, but I didn't get a chance to study, that's something that we have in common in America. There's a lot of smart people that don't get a chance to study. Yeah, that's something that is a little bit you know.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have changed anything for me. You know what I mean? Like it just wouldn't have. And how she's saying that there's no ownership, like you know, even it's super passionate for her because she's a native speaker and she understands her own culture. But when it doesn't matter, I mean, when we are watching foreign films, there's a lot, even if the translation was absolutely spot on, there's just a lot that we miss because we don't understand, you know, we're not submersed in that culture. And there's always something missed when things are translated. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say about that.
I still think they can improve the translation. They can work to improve that though.
Yeah, I mean, and yes, but like, I don't think it would make that much of a difference of a non-native a speaker or, you know, a non-native Korean, because we just don't know that we don't know the culture. So
I just don't think the two things that they were talking about, what she was saying about the culture is different from ours. What she was saying, it's, if anything, I feel like we could relate to it more, especially as people of color. There's a lot of things I've noticed, especially in Korean cinema, that aligns with Black culture specifically. Like the whole thing calling people aunties. We call people in our community that aren't related to us, if they're older, we might refer to them as auntie or uncle. That's something we have in common. So there are things that transcend location.
I mean, we can understand it because it's familiar, but it's just not the same. Just like how Tony was like, I got invited to the cookout. That's great, but you know, Tony.
Who said that? Who said they were invited to the cookout? Who invited you to the cookout?
What you said.
Okay.
Okay, I can't speak for all white folks, but I can relate. I got invited to several barbecues. Okay, that you can relate and that you experience it so that you can understand it in a different way is not the same. Yes, we can relate to anyone in the world who is smart but doesn't have a chance to study. But because she was emphasizing that the writer wanted that to come across as super important from his point of view, us looking on the outside, we would have missed that. Even if, you know, it was... I
don't think I would have missed it.
You would have related, right? You would have related like totally. But you're not Korean. We're not Korean. So we could relate, but that's not our experience. And just like the ownership, you know, I don't have ownership over you. Of course, no one does. But like, you know, she's, as a Korean, is like speaking from her lived experiences. And though we can relate, it's not going to make us so frustrated that we have to go lay down and take a nap. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you know, coming from her, it makes complete sense because she is.
Oh, no, I understand when she said she was so frustrated she had to take a nap. That's like when I watched Antebellum. I was like, some more bullshit. I have to lay down.
Right. That's exactly it. Right. And so she would have missed that as a Korean person. Like things are going to be missed.
Well, Korean American. She sounds completely American. She just happens to know the language. Like listening to her accent, she's American. But
she's Korean, though.
That's still, I'm African. I'm still American, right? Right. Asian people that are born in America are still Americans. But she's American, but her experiences. But it's still, one does not negate the other. Her American experience does not negate her Korean ethnicity,
or her,
which makes her pretty much the best person to explain it because she grew up here, and it makes her a best person to explain the difference between the two.
But the thing about like Asians and Indians and Russians, when they come here, even if they're born here, they're more close to their native way of life.
That's not true. That's not true at all. I have, trust me, I grew up in a town that was filled with a bunch of Vietnamese, Laos. We had a couple Chinese students, Japanese students. They always come back. Like if they go home, you know, to their grandparents or parents' country, they always come back and say, I felt like such an outsider. I can't even relate. I'm more American now.
Like they're not more. They speak their own language. They still know their own culture. They still cook their own foods. Like it's different. You know what I mean? It's not like
the way I can compare it is like this. I have a grandparent that came from Jamaica. If I go to Jamaica to this day, those people there will tell me you're not a Jamaican, you're an American. Even though it's the same thing. I'm the same amount removed they are. They're
but
not.
You know your culture, you know your foods, you know the languages.
Yes, I know.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we were,
but I wouldn't say that I'm more Jamaican than I am American.
You would be able to be like, this is not how it is, right? Because you're Jamaican and you know the language and you know the food and you know the culture. It's different. Like I couldn't talk on anything from Jamaican because my family is from Haiti, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
but do you feel like you're less? Do you feel like you're more Haitian than you are American? Because what you just said is the Asian Americans, they're more Asian than they are American. And
that's not what I said. I said they are more connected to their culture living here than other people, right? So yes, she is a Korean living here, but she speaks the language. She knows her culture.
She's an American living here.
She knows her she speaks the language. She celebrates her all the holidays. She is more connected to Korea than we are. Which is
why now that I can agree. Yeah, that I can agree on.
Like when I'm my mom's side of the family is from Haiti, and then my grandmother split off, and we have family in Mexico, Mexico City, New Mexico. When we go down there, we used to go every other summer. When we went down there, we don't speak Spanish, and our cousins of our age didn't speak English, but that did not stop us from running all over the city and being able to communicate with each other, right? And I know of my Haitian heritage, I know of my Mexican heritage, but when I go to those two countries, I am not submerged in it. So of course, I'm the American one, right? Because I'm not living in it every day, but because of my parents and my elders, I know that culture more than someone who is just going to visit Haiti on vacation or is going across to Mexico to get the medicine or get dental work, right? She's Korean American, but she's Korean. So of course she knows the culture,
yes.
Culture, what it means, what the writer was trying to get across. She knows that better than we do.
I agree.
And so like, even if it was like, even though we can relate to what's going on, in this film and care about characters and connect with them, we will not understand it the way that she does. So
yeah, I get what you're saying now.
Hi, Clapper Loader, how are you?
Hello, and Prometheus Ja 23.
Hey, well, he told you
he always tells me to get some sleep. I think this is what he says. I've been sleeping, I promise you. What's so funny? It's funny that you mentioned Mexican part of your family. I didn't find out that I had Mexican ancestry till I was 16 years old. Like no one mentioned, like all my grandmother used to say is, oh, my people come from the other side of the pyramids in Mexico. That's it. That's all she used to say. And then, I found out more because I had to do a family tree for a history class in high school. And that's when I found out, oh, your people really do come from, because when you're a kid, you don't take that type of thing serious, especially if you're not raised within that culture. That's why to this day, like some of my cousins, they'll put on like their Instagram hashtag Afro Latino. And I never do. I just put that I'm Black because I don't feel as connected to the Mexican part of my family at all. So to this day, people that watch my channel, they know I just say I'm Black and that's it.
That's what I do, like, because I look Black, right? And so the Native American part of my family is Choctaw, but there was a girl a couple of months ago that kind of like stirred up our family because she was doing like 23andMe or something like that. And she's Seminole, and she contacted an aunt and she was like, I think we're family members. And so then everyone was like, hold on now, like, how can that be? But then when we're looking at the map and the migration, Seminole and Choctaw did blend families. So we could very well be her cousin. So
yeah, and some tribes enveloped other tribes as they became smaller and smaller. They came together. Yeah, the last thing about the Mexican thing, I gave my grandmother 23andMe DNA test. Came out Mayan. I'm like, oh shit, we still exist. Well, let's get into the games. We got so off track, but that's okay. This show is, once we get into the story, it's kind of deep. It talks about a lot of different things.
Still, Reba reviewers just started the game, so we might not be able to do spoilers.
Okay. let's take a vote in the chat. Do you guys want us to just do like this as 2 parts? Like just talk about part of it this week and then do spoilers next week so you guys have a chance to finish, or plow ahead? I'll wait a couple minutes while we wait for you guys to vote. I'll play a little bit of these TikToks because you know we're gonna get into the challenges, but the one with the cookie, I'll just say that so that's not spoiling it. The babies are trying that,
like making it. Like I can't. Like why would you teach us how to? And then he was like,
yeah.
But like it was interesting because like when the guy, again, cultural wise, right, when he was sneaking around and he saw that sugar, and then like there was he kind of looked to the side, like he almost knew that it was gonna be that cookie, like you know what I mean, but we didn't know, like, you know. Yeah, so yeah, let's okay, Reevy said talk about it freely. I don't mind.
Okay,
spoilers.
so I'll just play the little TikToks in the background that people made of the Squid Game.
That's what I was talking about. Like, I'm gonna stop talking. Like, turn that up so we can hear it.
Oh, you want to hear them? Oh, because I don't want to get dinged for copyright, and they might have music on them.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna play it because
See
TikTok lets them play music. Yeah. Since they said go ahead and talk freely, let's talk about the games. The first one you started to talk about was red light, green light with the giant robot, which you can see right there in the TikTok.
I love that opening scene because like when they all came out, like it was still kind of like, oh, okay, I'm sorry guys, there's an owl right out my window. That is fucking bomb. Okay, anyway, they're all like, okay, this can't be that hard, right? And so when she stops and someone like moves and the shooting starts, the whole tone that set the tone for the entire series, because it became now like, this is not child's play. Like, this is not child's play. Like, we're
hold on, pause. These fools actually went to the subway and you see them smacking each other. I'm sorry, go ahead.
TikTok is out of control. Like, they are completely out of control.
You got fan service. Oh, by the way, I might be laughing a lot because I put a little bit of soju in my coffee because my nerves were shot when I ended this. That's where my anxiety was like. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to derail.
No, it's fine. I was just saying that, like, it just sets the tone. And then the death toll in the opening scene, like, it was just incredible. Like, they came with, like, how many, like, so it was like $1,000. So there was 45 players, right? Or no, 500 players. And half of them were killed, right? And so then they go into the, after the games, they go back to the dorms, and like now more of the rules are explained, and they're just like, this is fucking crazy. Morale is really low. Everyone is like really wondering what the hell they got into, and that's basically how the season starts. Look at her looking that like.
Why would you do the umbrella, girl?
Right, but like,
which was the second game.
Look at her. They're out of control. They're out of control. This is such a cool. No, my dog is.
Look at how you get these costumes this fast. Y'all just went online and ordered you some fuchsia jumpsuits. No. Man, I wish I saw fuchsia jumpsuits. I would have made a grip this week.
Right.
So that's the Dalgona cookie honeycomb game. And then the third challenge was the tug of war over what I call the pit of doom. The pit of my stomach was like, oh my God.
You know what? That was such a good, oh, there's another person making the cookie.
I told you it became a trend.
Yeah.
Ooh.
See?
Look at the gun. They edited it and somebody killed him.
Okay, let's
Tony Man says, soju, I'm culturally appropriating. Okay, if that's the case, then none of you can drink beer because I believe it was invented in Africa. So, me drinking soju, which is a Korean liquor, is cultural. It's not culturally. That's not cultural. Okay, let me pause this so I can explain what cultural appropriation is. Cultural appropriation is not the same thing as cultural participation. Cultural participation is like listening to music from around the world, drinking different beverages, eating different foods from around the world. If you go to Taco Bell and you have a taco, that's not cultural appropriation. Now, if you go to Taco Bell,
Mexican food, it's not actually authentic. That's
no, but still, it's not appropriation. Appropriation is when you take to appropriate something is when you take something and you rename it. Like when that Kardashian heifer took kimono, which is an actual physical garment from Japan, and made her undergarments and called it that. That's appropriation. Or when you take cornrows and call them boxer braids. Yeah. That's appropriation.
When white girls with blonde hair are walking around in a war bonnet every single Halloween, like we're getting ready to like see all this coming up soon. White people in blackface, like that's appropriation. So
yeah. So back to what was he talking about? We were talking about the tug of war.
I liked it, right? So like one of the guys was explaining on how to win because their team had the most girls on it, and so he was like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to wear them out and then we're going to all pull together. And so they let their team get all the way to the edge of the, okay. So in a normal tug of war, you're over water or over mud. In this game, they were 30 feet above the ground. And
if not higher,
maybe even higher. And so, they let the strong team pull right until they got to the edge, and then they all pulled together, they ganked them. And so it took them out of their momentum, and they couldn't get their rhythm back because like the strong team was like pulling almost like a row team because they were like yelling out and pulling like in synchronicity. And so once they were out of their, once they got pulled out of balance, like there was nothing they can do to recover. And one of the guys on their team was an older guy who told them the strategy on how to win that game. Unfucking real. And it was super stressful because they drag it out, like, and they're showing you like they show everyone's feet, right? And so like every single game was stressful. Like I don't think there was one game that was more stressful than the other, except for the bridge game. I think that they cheated when they turned the fucking lights off.
Yeah, I was gonna say the bridge game was the most stressful for me. Welcome to the dark side. Hey, do you guys know Welcome to the Dark Side has a YouTube channel? She also reviews horror, so check her out.
Hi, welcome to the dark side.
And she's adorable. She is so sweet. IOOAX. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm gonna call you X. Yeah, them damn boxer braids.
Okay.
Someone says you forgot about that Dr. Doom looking dude instigating a riot. That was insane. Yeah, he has the best mask. The guy with the black mask who was like who we thought was the leader. He had a really good life. But I had written some notes about the marbles was before the glass stepping stone. That was interesting because
the stone was almost towards the end, but the marble one, like there's a lot of instances like this that are super like tear jerking. Like one of the when they were looking for their teammates, okay, so the riot. So once they realized that there was going to be a riot, they formed teams to try and protect each other. And then that's how the teams became together. Like at the end of, I think it was episode 2 or 3, they knew that the participants were going to start a riot because they didn't feed them that much. They gave them a bottle of water and an egg. And so like now they're tired, they're stressed, and now they're hungry. And so while the riot was happening, like the one girl who was from South Korea who ended up there because she was trying to get her mom back, they went over to protect her because the gang leader, she owed him money. Like she, was doing what she needed to do to survive. And then the older guy, player 456 wanted to like kind of protect everybody. And so after they formed a group and then they had the riot, from that moment on, they stayed team members, except for when they were going to do a when they were doing picking the teams for a tug of war, that's when the team for 456 decided to break up because they didn't want any girls or elders on their team.
And they kept on not learning their lesson. They kept on thinking that every challenge was going to be strength based, and throughout the whole thing they never learned their lesson. From Prometheus Ja, I'm so sorry to hear that you're dealing with depression. I've been there. I hope that we're able to cheer you up a little bit. Just keep on going, press through. Things will get better.
Hi, Prometheus. Thanks so much for saying that. Like, oh, okay. So now, like, I just want to give you a hug.
And yes, Tony Man, she was from North Korea. Yeah. This baby is dressed up like, who dressed their baby? And it dressed her like the doll. Oh my God, this is so cute.
We gotta stop like looking at these videos because I'm missing all the comments.
I've been looking back and forth. I don't think we didn't miss any. I don't think.
Okay.
Someone says, by the way,
this link so that I can watch them all because now I'm like I want to see them all with sound.
Oh, definitely. I made a playlist in order. That's why I was able to let it play like this. So I'll send you the link to the playlist.
Okay.
Now the glass stepping stone one, that one had for those that haven't seen it, it's this bridge that was made out of glass, and it's like at least 50 feet above ground. But the thing is, the glass tiles, some of them are tempered glass and some of them are normal glass. And the normal glass, what did it say? It said the tempered glass will hold up to
2 people.
No, I'm sorry. The normal glass will hold up to 2 people, but the tempered glass
would hold. The tempered glass.
No, I wrote it down right when they said it. I wrote it down because I knew I would get it mixed up. I wrote it down right when they said it. The regular glass will hold up to 2 people, but the tempered glass won't hold anyone.
The tempered glass is what windshield is made out of. The tempered glass is the strongest.
That's why it shat. Then why did they say that it won't hold anyone? I literally wrote it down as they said it on the screen. And tempered glass is what picnic tables, like those patio sets have the tempered glass.
The tempered glass is the strongest glass. It's the thickest, and it's what our windshields are made out of because it is the strongest glass.
Well, they said it the other way. We're moving on. Whichever glass, some glass, if you step on the wrong glass, you're gonna fall through. That's the main point. And it was nerve-wracking. I'm still shook. I'm still like putting 20 on 10 because it's and oh wait, the worst part about it was the numbers. Before they went across the bridge, they had all these mannequins that were numbered 1 through 16 because there's only 16 players left. And everyone had to just randomly choose a number without knowing what the challenge was going to be. So once they got the numbers, they found out that the numbers correspond to which order you're going to go across the bridge. So to be number 1 is like the worst because you don't know which glass is the strong glass and which glass is the weak glass. And oh my gosh.
I think it was like number 3 or 4 worked in a glass shop. So what he did is he was watching, like he laid down so that he can see how the light bounced off the glass. And the tempered glass was green and the regular glass was clear. So he knew which ones were the tempered glass. And by this time, because it's near the end of the games, and now we know that there are people betting on these games. They have come as VIP guests and they're watching these games in real time on location, but in a different room where there's, the finest alcohol and the most beautiful prostitutes. And so one of the VIP guests said, that's not fair. And so then the game master turned the fucking lights off, which I thought that's bullshit because they've made it this far. And if you can use your skill to like win the game, then you should be able to do that. And then like it was counting down. So like some people were on the other side of on the bridge because they had one person like venturing out at a time. And then once the glassmaker laid down and he could see the different glasses. So then there was a bunch of people on the bridge at the same time because they all needed to get to the other side by 3 minutes. And so we have this expert on the contestants, and it's going really well. It looks like they're all gonna get over, and then they fucking turn the goddamn lights off. It pissed me off.
I was most pissed at that what's his name? Is it Day
What
something?
number?
I don't remember the numbers. Deok-su. He was such a jerk through the whole thing, and he's going to turn around on the glass and say he's not going any further until somebody else goes beyond him. And he threw one guy off of the bridge. Like, Deok-su is such an asshole.
He really was, but like, I really loved his death scene. I loved that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
let's talk about that.
The movie, they made a pact. He made a pact with
Myeok.
Yeah, and he was like, okay, we're going to stay together forever, and we're going to get through this, and we're going to get the money, and we're going to go. And so then the very next game, he betrays her. And so she's livid. She's like, you know what? I'm going to kill you. You said we were together forever. You lied to me, crossed me. I am going to kill you. And then every single game from that moment on, she's not trying to play to win the money. She's playing because she's like strategizing. And on that fucking bridge, when he turned around and she was right there, his expression, because he knew, he was like, she promised she was going to kill me. And the way she did it, I was like jumping up from my seat. I was like, yes. I don't know. Like, I've never been as happy to see someone die as I did when she took him the fuck out. But I was super mad with the way that she did it because, like, she died too.
The sixth game was actually the least climactic because there was only two people left. It was just
him and his cousin.
Yeah, and I wrote it down. Ji-hun and Sang-woo. And Sang-woo was an asshole too because he double crossed Ali in the marbles thing.
I was so pissed off. I was just like, and even though Ali seems to be around 28, like, you know, mid 20s, he was very naive. He really there he is right there, like the character. Yeah, like he really believed in the goodness of everybody, and so he really believed that they were working as a team so that they can both win together. And like the way that he was portrayed when he realized he was betrayed pissed me off so bad because I don't know, I was like really partial to that character. He was like the black guy of that of the cast, right? Because he's from India and he's darker than them and he's an immigrant and he didn't really understand. And
I think he said he was from Pakistan.
Yeah, Pakistan. Maybe he was Pakistan. And so like it just pissed me off that like he was just so trusting after all of the games where he noticed that people were being backstabbing, he still believed in the good of others. The clapper, this show is absolutely fucking crazy. It really is.
Yes. Yeah, the second season isn't greenlit yet. Netflix is with the BS. If they drop the ball, I hope Amazon picks it up because Amazon has the money. And
I didn't like the way, like, okay, first of all, I'm not really sure why he dyed his hair red. Like, what are you doing? And then,
at first, I was like, when he dyed his hair red, I was like, oh, he's the Joker now. He snapped. He snapped. He's the Joker. He's about to take everybody out.
The thing about like him, like getting on the plane, like he knows the consequences. His daughter is fucking waiting. He's got $40 fucking million, right? And he decides that he's gonna go get revenge. Like, take the fucking money and run.
I think he was probably thinking that he wanted to stop them from harming other people. But I don't know how he thinks he can do it by himself.
The guy on the playing the game on the subway, the way that he played it, he ran over there and stopped him. He's like, you do not want to be involved with these people. Yeah, you're right.
And should we talk about the final reveal?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, before I do that, be forewarned, this show has some...
Okay, if you're going to do the final reveal, then we need to talk about the marble scene. His marble scene. Because... Yeah. Okay, so the marble scene, so like they had to pick one person. And again, everyone is thinking that it's going to be a game of strength. So the old man is like kind of sitting all by himself, and there's a girl that's sitting by herself, and then there's this couple that are going to play together, a wife and a husband, right? And so the girl who was betrayed, she's left without a partner. Like when the girl was explaining the translation, when she was saying, "I'm smart, I just have a chance to study," she's begging people to let her be on the team, but they say no. And so she's dragged off all by herself because everyone has paired up and she doesn't have a partner. And so they go and they realize once they get to the arena that there's only one winner and the other one is gonna die, right? And so imagine like that. And so the player 456 is trying to figure out how to win the game, but like he's really feeling really bad because of the old man. Like he's been with him this whole entire time and he's been basically taking care of him. And then the old man has dementia. So in the middle of the marble game, he, goes off and he's looking for the house, because like they made it like a little village. And so he's like, this is kind of like where I grew up and I'm looking for my son. And there's a part in there where he cheats, like because he's going through dementia, and he opens his hand and he's got like it was a guessing game. We had to like pick how, like guess if the marbles equal or were even or odd. And so the guy opens his hand, the old guy, player one, opens his hand, and he's got 3 marbles there. And he said before he closed his hands that he was choosing odd. And so when he opened his hands and the 3 marbles were there, he asked player 456, he's like, "What did I say?" And then player 456, he's like, "You said even," right? Because like he's like,
he thinks that he has dementia, so he thinks he can just trick him.
Right. But he felt bad tricking him. But then at the end, the old man gave him his marble. He's like, "You know what? This was fun. You can have the marble. If this is how I'm going out, this is how I'm going out." And it was just so fucking devastating because the marble game was the most emotional. The 2 girls, the one from South Korea and the girl that she chose to play on her team, they were talking about each other's stories, and their marble game was they were going to shoot 1 marble, and the person who shot the marble furthest would win. And so the girl from North Korea tells her story, and they share stories. And so she's like, and they don't do anything, they're just talking because they have like 20 minutes to complete this game. They decide that they're going to just do the shooting 1 marble, 1 shot for each person. So they're sitting down and they're just talking to each other like friends, right? And she was like, "Why did you pick me?" And why did it's a nice little moment. And so when it comes for them to play the game, our girl from North Korea shoots the marble and it gets almost to the gate. And then when it's the other girl's turn to shoot the marble, she just lets it drop. So she gave herself up because she's telling the other girl that she's got more to live for. And she's like, "You can't do this. You have to play the game." She's looking at the clock and they run out of time. And so as she's walking away, she's like, "This is not fair. You needed to like be an opponent." She's walking away and then we hear the gunshot. We don't get to see her die. And then she's just, tears streaming down her face.
Wait, that was a different translation than what I saw. Did you watch the dub version or you watched the
I always read. I don't listen to the dub because the acting, the voice acting is not right.
The version that I saw said she didn't beg her. She said it was an honor to play with you. And then she was shot.
Right. No, but the other girl was like, "You can't play this way. You need to."
Okay, I thought I missed a line or something. I was like,
yeah, no, she was like, "You can't, you have to like, this is a competition." And she's like, "This is how I'm going to play this game." And so, and then like when our Middle Eastern guy realized that he's been betrayed, and we see the person who betrayed him kind of like going into the dorms, he's okay with it. Like he's not feeling bad at all. Everyone is coming back into the dorms. They feel bad because the partner that they chose was someone close to them. But the thing is, he was strategizing. He was trying to win the game. And so what he did was legal. I just didn't like it. Like I really didn't like this character from the very beginning because he kind of just like, he was so strategic when everyone around him on his team was trying to like play the game that would best benefit everyone.
Are you talking about Sang-woo?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was. Oh well, they kind of established he was out for self when he at the beginning when his cousin found out that he had pretty much mortgaged his mother's shop for some business scheme he had. So that like kind of established his character as someone who doesn't think about other people, just himself.
Right.
Tony Man says, so is this South Korean Game of Thrones?
Not even close.
Don't get too attached because your favorite character will die, just like most South Korean movies. Well, yeah, kind of. Yep. Don't get too attached. Except for one.
That's the brilliancy of movies coming out of North Korea. They make you love South Korea. They make you love their characters. I decided that I was gonna, because normally when I'm watching these type of movies, they're horror or they're thriller, never like straight up drama, right? So I decided that I was gonna try and watch a regular ass drama show coming out of South Korea. 10 minutes into it, I was like, nope, I am not going to be having my heart ripped out over this bullshit. I'm going to find a horror movie because, like,
it's still horror. There was a person whose chest was open.
Right, this is horror, right? This is horror. I was like, I wanted to go and look for a regular drama, like straight up love drama, to see how bad it would be. And no.
Yeah. Well, they put in just about everything. No matter what genre that you watch in a lot of Korean media, there's going to be some drama in it. If it's horror, they're going to have some drama in it. If it's comedy, they're going to have some drama in it. If it's a mystery, there's going to be some drama in it. I've come to expect it so much so that I was watching something else, and someone was crossing the street and they didn't get hit by a car, and I was like, oh my god. I didn't get hit by a car. That means I've been watching way too much Korean stuff. If I'm like, There's a really great one. I keep telling you to watch it called Itaewon Class, which is equal parts comedy and drama. Like, it'll make you laugh and then it'll make you cry. But it's a great, great show.
Okay. I will keep that in mind.
And also, there's one, I haven't finished it yet. It's called Flower of Evil. And that one's a mystery thriller. It's on the Viki app for free right now, but it has like 28 episodes, so it's gonna take me a while to finish.
That sounds cool. Like that, just the title alone sounds like something that I would watch.
And it's totally mystery thriller. Like, it has all these twists and turns, and people trying to find out it's a whodunit. That's what I call it. It's a whodunit.
So it's like a crime drama.
Yes. Did we miss anything? Oh, we didn't talk about the undercover gentleman, the police officer that went undercover.
Oh my god, yes, because when he found what he was looking for, dudes, when he found who he was looking for, so this cop, his brother went missing. And that's another thing that we missed. So they voted to all leave, right? So like one guy was like, this is stupid. Like after the third or second game, this guy's like, the rules say if we all vote to leave, then we can go home. And they're like, that's true, but you're not going to get the money. And so they vote, which was like watching the fucking Florida elections. It was like hella stressful. And they all vote to leave. They get to go home, right? They're like, we'll figure out what to do when we get home. They all get home, and then something happens where they all want to come back to the game. So like half of them who went home came back. Yeah, for
Sungwoo, it was because he had a warrant for his arrest. So he came back, and then his cousin came back because he had debt collectors about to beat the crap out of him. I think obviously player one came back because he was having fun.
Right, and then the South Korean girl, she came back because
North Korean.
I'm sorry, the North Korean girl came back because she was hoping to win the money to get her brother out of foster care and to like get her mother back across the border. And so she was working with a coyote, and she went to find out what happened. And he was like, you know what, your money's gone. We can try it again, but this is how much it's gonna cost. And she went full ham. She beat his ass, and she's like, look, I paid you for my mom. You're gonna figure it out, otherwise I'm gonna kill you. And so then they let them, like, they're being watched. So they let these guys go out back home and have the stress build back up, and then they end up with another invite card, and they all just go back to playing the game.
There's an update in the chat. Astrid De Coco says, or is it Desicho? Not sure how to pronounce that because I'm thinking of the Italian way and the American way, but I'm going to say Astrid says that the writer-director Wang Dong-hyuk told Variety he may return to big screen movies before thinking about a Squid Game sequel.
Fuck. So it's not, we're going to have to wait for it.
It said in the title, Hell. They realized that the real world was hell for them. This is true.
Yep. And so they all came back.
And then, well, Tony Man said in the chat what his guess was about the reveal of who the man in a black mask was. And
okay, so that's what I wanted to tell you guys. That's why we like veered off. So while he's back, he tries to tell the cops what's going on. And he's telling them that he was playing this game on the subway, and then they like took him to these games and they were playing red light, green light, but everyone was dead. And the cop was like, dude, what the fuck? What? And so he left the card on the chief's desk. And the cop who was looking for his brother, when he went to his brother's home, he saw the same card in his brother's house. So he went back to the station. He's like, hey, chief, who was that guy that we set loose who was saying that he was playing these games and people died? And the chief was like, do you know him? He's like, oh, he's my friend. So then that's how that guy got into the arena, because he went to player 556 to try and figure it out. But at that time, they all went back to, they were all waiting to get picked up to go back to the games. And the cop was surveilling player 556. And so when he got into the van, he followed the vans to the ferry dock. He knew that he wasn't going to be able to take his car any further. And so he climbed underneath the van so that he can be loaded onto the ferry dock so that he can try and figure out what was going on. And as the ferry is leaving, he kills one of the fuchsia overseers and dons the outfit so that he can move around and try and figure out, he's looking for his brother. And
he basically did what Luke and Han Solo did in Star Wars when they took the stormtroopers outfits.
Exactly. And then as the show goes on, he like he gives himself promotions. Like, so the circle mask is like the very least, the triangles are the middleman, and then the squares, if I'm not mistaken, are the supervisors. So he starts as a circle, he's getting lost, he almost gets caught, he kills the guy, so now he's a square, and he's able to like tell people, you're not supposed to talk to me unless I say, like he's using his power to like stay evaded. And so he's looking for his brother. And at the almost end, he finds his brother and realizes that he used to be a contestant, but now he is the game master. He is the one that is behind these games. And they're on a cliff, and he's like sending a text message to his chief, and they're chasing him. And when he's like climbing on this top cliff, you know, because he took the scuba gear and like tried to get away, but he ended up on the wrong island. And so they chased him out there. The scuba gear had a tracking device on it because of what they were doing while they were using the scuba gear. They needed to make sure that they knew where those people were going and when they were coming back. And so they found him on the island, and he still got his black mask on, which I liked the most because it was just like so intricate. And so when he pulled that mask off and that cop saw that it was his brother, he was just like, okay, hold on. And his brother had to kill him. Like, his brother was like, there's no cops coming from you. This is how it is now. It's over. And I was just like, he killed his baby brother. Like, he killed his baby brother. Like,
and it's never explained why. I don't think
he wanted to stay a master. He didn't want to go back home and expose the company that he was working for, right? His brother is a cop, and now this guy is a criminal because he's captured 500 fucking people and is basically torturing them through the game. So of course he's not going to want to go home. He would have been held responsible, and he was the winner of the last game. So now he's rich. You know what I mean? So he was just like,
and then the final reveal, and this is your last chance to leave if you don't want to know what happened in the last episode.
Yeah,
because there is a final reveal. we're gonna count down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As in player 1.
I like how you did that.
Yes.
I like how you did that.
Player 1 is basically Jigsaw. Remember the end of Saw when dude was laying on the ground and he got up? That's player 1. This is all his game.
Yep. And it was interesting because he, even though player 5 is pissed off, till the very end, he played another game. He's a gambler, and there was like this homeless guy outside, and he's like, "Look, if he makes it till midnight, I can't remember what the wager was. Oh, well,
the wager was if somebody helps him out of the cold before midnight, then the main character, I don't know why I can never remember his name. I remember everybody else's name but his. It's number 456. Yeah.
He said, if he
gets to double his money,
then you can kill me. And so and then he's like talking about why he was doing the game, and after every fucking thing our player went through, he's still hopeful, and he's looking out the window and he's watching the clock, and like 3 minutes.
Because he's a gambler too.
Before midnight, because like there was this girl who walked by and looked. They were watching her, and she walked by, or she stopped over the homeless guy, but she didn't say anything. She didn't do anything. She checked his pockets, and then she left. And so it looked like she pickpocketed him. And player 1 was like, "See, this is how our world works." And so player 456 is staring out the window at the homeless guy, and he's like, "No, this is not how the world works. This is good. We're humans. We love, everyone." And so right 3 minutes before midnight, a cop car comes back, and the girl got out of the cop car with the cop, and he's like, "See, I told you." But when he turned around, player 1 had died. So he wasn't able to kill him like he wanted to. He just, I think player 1 knew that his time was coming, and he just, I don't know, and it just made the marble scene even more, it perverted it, right? Because this man is not having dementia. He knew exactly what the fuck he was doing. And
I love the double entendre of him pretending to have dementia and then playing marbles, like you're losing your marbles.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah. that was clever. But right. I was looking at this like this series is like a well, to me, I thought it might have been a metaphor for capitalism, because in order for capitalism to work, the poor proletariat. I've always read this, and so never heard it said aloud. So I'm wondering if it's pronounced proletariat. But that class of people, if we stay fighting amongst ourselves, it allows the ruling class to still rule.
Just like the Hunger Games.
Yeah, but in like society terms, you tell like the quote unquote poor European Americans that all their troubles are because of those Black people and those immigrants. Then you tell them, now they've reused that same trope and told Black Americans, oh, well, we're going to drop this ADOS term into the forums and tell now you guys get to blame the immigrants. Like it matters where your slave ship dropped you off. That makes a huge difference. Yeah, fight amongst yourselves, and the ruling class will continue to rule while you're deciding what you want to call yourselves. They don't care what you call yourselves. You're all broke and poor to them. So call yourself whatever name you want to call yourself.
I was watching this documentary. I can't remember what it was, but they were talking about, they were like interviewing people who were voting for Republicans and Trump, white people in the South, and they were showing their living conditions, right? This man was living in a trailer that didn't have any heat. There was a hole. You could see the asbestos lining. Oh my gosh. His whole entire yard was fucking full of trash. he voted against healthcare, but he has something is wrong with his lungs because he was a coal worker and there's no heat in his house, and he had to go to the food bank to get food. And the person doing the documentary was like, the Democratic platform is healthcare for all with no precondition, and we will pay you to get food stamps so that you can take care of yourself. And he's like, no, I don't need a handout. And when he was talking about it, they just panned over his property that looked like a fucking junkyard. Like, those guys are fucking gone. They're gone.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing you can do. Year after year after year, voting against their own self-interest, and their self-interest is getting worse and worse and worse. Like, it's just incredible.
XI says, I still don't know what ADOS means. ADOS stands for African Descendants of Slavery, which doesn't make sense because it's supposed to be a term for Black Americans. It doesn't make sense because Caribbean peoples and people in Central and South America are also African descendants of slavery. The second reason it doesn't make sense is our people are thousands of years old. Why the hell would we name ourselves after a short period of time and define ourselves by one thing that happened to us when we're thousands of years old? Yeah, no, they can miss me with that one.
We're the ones that were in the Bible, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Technically, the genome for white skin did not exist until 6,000 years ago. So everyone on Earth was brown. So if you think of any group of people that predate 6,000 years ago, they're going to be brown skinned people because that's a fairly new development within the human genome. But that aside, yeah. Also, I reject it because it looks like we're the only group of people that every 20 years get told to call ourselves something different.
Right.
I mean, it's like clockwork. We went from Negro to Black to African American, and then now this. I feel some ain't clean in the buttermilk. I mean, I don't want to get into CON conspiracies because then YouTube will kick us the hell off. But y'all know what I mean. If you know, you know. Tony Man says again, look at our government. They send us $1,400 and we stay shut. We have to wear masks, yet they can have parties with tons of other government officials with no masks.
But the thing is, they're dying off, right? So if you don't want to wear your mask, it's cool. But like, know that people who want to wear their mask are not going to want you in their establishments. They're not going to want to send their kids to school with you. Like, I mean, if you want to go to a giant party where no one is, wearing a mask and no one's been vaccinated, of course you can do that. But you can't really push back against the people who are trying to protect themselves against a virus that is very real and it's not a hoax. Like I don't know how I got onto the side of TikTok, but like I get like in my news feeds all the time someone who is denying this pandemic and they're dying, right? They're like, here's this guy who took, he's dead because of COVID. Like,
what's her name? Cat Black. There's a YouTuber named Cat Black. She did a video called they fucked around and found out. And the whole video is just people's social media accounts, denying C-19 because we're not supposed to say it on here because we might get blocked.
People, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's been, because they don't want people to spread misinformation, and since they're not going to pay people to watch videos to make sure we're not, they just don't want anybody saying it. So this YouTuber Cat Black, that's her name. She did a video called "They Fucked Around and Found Out," and it's so funny because she shows like people's social media of them saying all kind of stupid stuff about C-19, and then the update of them getting sick or dying or infecting someone else and dying. It was a very before and after. Also, I did forget too. Prometheus Ja says FBA, Foundational Black Americans, and then
I don't remember that.
And that's a new one. And then XI also says, don't forget colored. My mom has that on her birth certificate. Yeah, this is true. My mother is old enough that she remembers literally seeing the fountains that say whites and colored on them. It's just crazy. But no matter what we call, it's not about what we call ourselves. It's about how we collectivize together, which this prevents. If we spend 50 years arguing over what to call ourselves, that's just a smokescreen to keep us busy while other things are happening.
Right.
Astrid says the series is about class, hence why everyone can relate to it. Yes, I agree. The clapper loader says
desperation because like no one would be would volunteer for such a fucking game,
Mm-hmm.
not to. So like the first time around, they were tricked.
Mm-hmm.
They got to go home, but then they went back. Like they
Yeah.
went back, and that's straight desperation. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're at your wit's end. Like there's nothing else that you can do.
I mean, we're close to it. We're close to that. What was that? Fear Factor was like this close. I keep saying we're 10 years away from the Running Man. We really are.
That's
And
frightening. That's a frightening
yeah.
concept.
Let me see. Am I forgetting anything else? And we'll go straight to the comments and see what more people say. Yeah, I think that's. Oh yeah, the final thing that shows about class. It actually has the underlying message that the power is actually with the people, because they always had the power to stop the game if they all decided they weren't going to play anymore.
Right.
And that is so real. What if everyone in society decided not to play the game anymore? That's just, I mean, I can't see it happening, because there's always people that think that if they suck up to certain powers that be, that they'll get a better shot. There's always people that
and then
don't
like,
think of the greater good of society.
So bad, like they did decide to quit. They did.
Yeah.
They all voted. They
Mm-hmm.
did a Democratic. There was
Yeah.
one scene in there where some guy like was like doing something, and one of the guys with the guns in the pink suit, he's like, "We are not going to allow you to interrupt the democratic process." And it just made me think of like January 6th. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
like, that was brilliant. But like they did decide to go home. They did decide to quit, but
Mm-hmm.
their conditions, their situations didn't allow them to like stay out of the games. They felt like they had to go back. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so even if the power is with the people, the system probably makes it so that we can't stop playing.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. The Clapper Loader says, "Wow, on her birth certificate, incredible." Responding to I gotta scroll up. I can't see it. Xi's comment, and also the Clapper Loader said that I don't know your gender. Sorry, I don't mean to misgender anybody. Grandmother still says until the things that some of my grandmother's in her 90s, and some of the things she still says, it's like it's like. But I realized that she came through at a time that was extremely different. Like the other, she always asked me and my sister if we're still listening to that Chinese music, and I'm like, it's Korean.
There was this time, and then like Astrid said, desperation will always win when it comes to class warfare.
Yes,
so, like,
I agree.
Speaking of grandmothers, me and my sister were. This was like maybe in 2007. We live in Seattle. We were on the boardwalk eating ice cream. My sister's gorgeous, right? And so this old white woman with her whole entire family holding her grandson's hand, who might have been like 6 or 7 or even a little bit older than that. She stopped my sister and said, "You are the prettiest niggeress I have ever seen."
Oh
right?
my God.
She said that out loud.
That's not even from this century. Like, did she walk out of like the 1800s?
And her grandson burst into tears. Like her whole family was stunned. Like they were just like, now what do we do? And me, because I have no fucking chill, my temper is non-existent. My sister put her hand on my chest, right? And told the woman, "Thank you," while pushing me away around her family. I was livid. And she's like, "That is an old ass white woman. I do not want to come see you in prison. Okay? We're going to let it go. We're going to let
I'm
it
just
go."
like, oh my, and the crazy thing is she was trying to pay a compliment, but she said, just said it so crazy.
And so just like she just stopped her. You know, she was like holding onto her grandson's hand. And I guess her son or someone was like helping her walk because she was old, right? Like the white hair in the bun, all of that. And she's like, oh. And my sister stops because she's gorgeous, real dark skin. And she was like, "You're the most beautifulest niggeress I've ever seen." It seemed like everything in Seattle stopped because I couldn't hear anything. Like, and her family, like, to see the expressions on their fucking faces. You can't say you weren't raised like this. Okay, this is your matriarch.
Yeah.
Right? So the only one who like verbally said anything was her great grandson. He was little. He just started crying, like he was mortified. His little face was all red. And I was eating ice cream. We had these giant ice cream cones, and I crushed mine. And then there was like ice cream coming down my elbow, and my sister was just like, I'm not gonna come see you in fucking jail. We're not doing this. Like, it was just like so surreal. Like, I have never experienced anything like that before and since. And Washington State is a sundown town. Like, there's a bunch of places in Washington that are sundown towns. So like, it was just such a surreal experience, and it made me so angry. My sister was upset too, but like, at that moment, her whole goal was to keep her big sister calm because she didn't want to come see me in jail.
Yes, Tony Man, he did say didn't Biden say Obama spoke well, which is like, what do you expect? He's Harvard or Yale educated. Of course, he's supposed to sound educated. The clapper Lotus says everything going slow-mo. Like, what the hell? I'm surprised you had time to react. I still would have been in shock. Like, did she just say that to me? Because the only thing,
I didn't, nothing was slow-mo. I was immediately angry. Like, all I saw was red. And my sister, because she's known me all her life, made sure that, because I was ready to kill everybody. Like, that's my baby sister, bitch. Who are you talking to? Right? I didn't even get a chance to say that. Like, normally when I spin out of control, it's super fast, it's super explosive, and it's scary, right?
Oh,
like,
wow.
My temper,
it's because you're an August Virgo. September Virgos, we're like, we're not gonna flip out in a moment. We are plotting and planners.
Well,
we're gonna get you when you least expect it.
If you make me wait, and if I get to think about it, it's even worse. When I was in the Navy, my temper was so bad, they called me TNT. Like, that was what they called me, because like, and I was like in the brig 3 fucking times, and I was in captain's mast, and like, my temper is like non-existent. So like, nothing went in slow motion. I heard her say that, and then the next thing I know, like, my sister's like pushing me down the street, and my ice cream was like crushed in my hands, and it's melting down my arm, and I just screamed because like, there was like, and then a couple of minutes after that, my sister started crying, but they were way gone, and there was nothing I can do about it. I think I can do about it.
Oh, speaking of speaking well, have you ever had that? Because we're both, old enough to remember what it was like to apply for jobs before the internet. And I remember applying for jobs and having phone interviews.
Yes.
And I'd be interviewed over the phone. And then when I would show up, they would be like, oh, I was talking to you. Like, they didn't think they were talking to a Black person. I actually, one person, I got there and they said the job was filled. Even though they told me to come there. That was crazy. And then the other odd thing, that this never really happened to me too much in Connecticut, but down in Florida, I guess it's different. But this lady actually came up to me. I was working in a tailor shop, and the owner and the family that owned the tailor shop was from Thailand. And I think my hair might have been flat ironed or something. I'm trying to figure out why this lady said what she said to me, but she was talking to me. I'm getting her order together and everything. And she's warning me about, because she asked where my accent was from. And I said, oh, I'm from Connecticut. And then she's like, oh, so you're new to Orlando. And she was like, well, don't go over to here or over to there, because that's where the Black people are at. And I'm looking at her like, are you not aware that you're talking to a Black person? Like, what the hell do you think I was?
And then like Tony, like his comment, like, this is why I say, like, people are raised like that. Like, read Tony's comment, like his grandmother said this thing, and then his mom was like, she's the overseer, and you're gonna do what you're told, or you're gonna get in trouble. Like, are you kidding? Like, that's crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy.
That's one thing I'm so thankful to my parents about, is being raised to be open-minded. Like, it wasn't even like a conversation they had to have with me. It was just me seeing how they operated in the world and seeing that they had, well, they both came from kind of an academic background anyways, because when I was born, my father was teaching in college and my mother was like a head of residence in college. So already a college atmosphere, you have people from around the world, but there's still ignorant people even in a college atmosphere. But fortunately, my parents always had me around.
That Native American girl, when she took a, I don't remember what class it was, but she took a class in college and the professor was saying how, something about how the Indians were treated. And she's like, no, that's a genocide. And he fucking berated her and kicked her out of his class. Like, she knows her fucking culture. Like, she's a Native American. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
And how dare you deny a genocide that literally happened?
Right.
That's just, but yeah, growing up.
And he didn't lose his job.
Growing up, seeing them interact with people from around the world and how they interacted, I just learned by watching how to interact with people. And unfortunately, some people grow up in very insular situations. Like across the, this is the only thing I'm going to say is across the board. I've even met Black people that I've heard them say like the most racist shit, and it's like, how could you say that? And you're a Black person, you know what it's like. And then
no. It's
well, prejudice or whatever you want to call it.
Like, here's Tony. He's like, oh, remember a couple of comments ago, he was like, I got invited to the cookout, but here you are, you know, calling a light-skinned girl a red bone, and you almost got murdered for it. See, you can relate, but you won't. You're not.
You're not understanding the context. You can't. And also, you probably heard someone at the cookout say that, and then didn't realize that that particular person was ignorant.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a very ignorant thing. That colorism is an ignorant thing that happens within not just the Black community, but also the Indian community, the Asian community, the Latino community. Colorism is just, I would say even in the white community, only it's different with whites. Their colorism is against redheads. I don't know what they dislike about red-haired people, but they treat them so terribly. I'm like, that's child. And I'm like, that red hair is pretty. Why are y'all like this?
Not why are y'all like this?
Yeah. But apparently it's like in every society, there's some form of, or not every society. Let me keep it to Earth, because I still think the aliens are coming. I refuse to believe that this is the best that could be created.
That's why they're not here, because they're like, why would Earth is ghetto? Like, why would you go there? Like,
I think they drive by to laugh at us. They drive by and then they swing low and say, they still acting a fool down there? Yep. Oh, the Clapper Loader says, I used to do phone work. No one knew I was Black. Tony Man 100 says, we were told children should be seen and not heard. You speak when you're spoken to and come when you're called. Yeah, that's also detrimental, because how do you know if your child is having a problem, if your child is having an emotional problem, if your child is sick? Like, I don't believe in that speak when spoken to type of stuff. That's 1950s parenting.
Like, it doesn't give a child an agency over their own body, right? Like, kids should be able to tell an adult, no, don't touch me there. I don't like
exactly.
I don't want to, like, you know what I mean? Because this is, I think, why we have so many adults now who are not expression. They're not like, the communication sucks between people.
Oh yeah, I hate it when I hear situations where, like, and it's happening a lot with the I can't say which generation, but it's being spoken about more by millennial women. So shout out to them for speaking more about it. But a lot of times they'll say, oh, well, a guy did this to me, or he said this to me and I said nothing, or I did nothing. I didn't know what to say, or I was scared to say something. Whereas sometimes Generation X women, we kind of grew up having to curse a motherfucker out. Like, you could be at the bus stop and somebody's trying to touch you, and you just have to speak up.
Because boys are not told.
Yeah.
They're not taught to take no for an answer. Right. Like, it's for some reason, like, this is another story that I'm going to tell you that's kind of fucked up. So because of this, I have another phone number from a Google account that the voicemail was full. So when you call it, you hear my voice, but you can't leave a message. Right. So I was in Safeway, and this guy, I knew he was going to fucking approach me. I was trying to get away from him, but he cornered me in like the bread aisle, and he asked me for my phone number. So I gave him my Google number for this occasion. This man called that number in front of me and listened. And when he heard my voice, he said, you better be glad you gave me the right number. Otherwise I was going to fuck you up. Like,
I would have cursed him out right then and there. Everybody would in the store would have known. I would not have left that store. I would have been in front of everybody saying, "This motherfucker over here is no. I'm the child you do not want to kidnap unless you are find me in the woods, because everybody is going to hear my mouth and they're going to think I'm fucking crazy."
Today over a fucking, you know what I mean? He was big and he was like, you know, there was no.
If you're bold enough to kill me in the middle of a grocery store, then try it.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm going home and then I will plot that, right? Like that. I was just like thinking, like, why would you tell a woman that you're hoping to like become romantically involved with? Like, yeah. And I've just never been back to that fucking Safeway ever again, you know, because like men are dangerous. Like they're just like, you can't tell them no. They don't take a no for an answer. They just don't. Like
women in my family are dangerous too, and we go to target practice. So try me if you fucking want to. I'm for that. I'm 14. I was first learned how to shoot a gun when I was 9 years old, with the clay pigeon, skeet shooting with the little rifle, and then I got to try other types of guns. And oh, you know what? I'm a stereotype because like I just finished talking about the Jamaican and the Mexican, and maybe that's what's wrong with me. That's what's wrong with me. And then on top of it, my grandmother's from New Orleans, and you know women in New Orleans are no strangers to packing heat. But yeah, I do feel for the younger women because dudes are really crazy. Like I heard about this girl that a guy asked her for his phone number. A guy asked her for her phone number in Philadelphia, and she said no, and he shot her. It was like outside of a club. I'm like, that is crazy.
And that incident, he had a girlfriend at home.
Oh my God.
And then there was the girl in New Orleans where it was Mardi Gras and he was dancing up on her and she's like, hey, please don't dance up on me. He beat her to fucking death. Okay.
That is freaking crazy.
And in front of everybody. Like men don't take no for an answer. Like it's just, and I was watching this other creator. She was talking about how, and she's white and she was saying how, some like white men will not divorce you. You'll be dead.
Oh
like,
yeah, we have one.
You're not gonna just be like.
Speaking of that, we have one right here in Florida right now that went on vacation with his girl and came back without her. And how about the Florida Police Department is calling around asking for donations? I'm like, why would I donate money to y'all? You didn't even arrest the dude when he came back without his girl, and now he's missing. They can't find him because he was a person of interest and they never arrested him.
Oh, God.
I forget his name. I forget the girl's name, but she was a YouTuber. She wasn't very big yet. She might have had like, I heard she had like 300 or 400 subscribers, but it was enough for people to take notice of her absence. And they were trying to do a travel vlog where they were going around in their like this like van they had converted, or it was kind of like a delivery truck that they converted into a camper.
Van life.
Yeah. And he came back to Florida without her and her family, and she lived with him. And her family was like, well, where is she? And he just immediately got a lawyer and then he disappeared.
Yeah, it's right. IOI, like they are shooting women who turn them down.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's going, and like, I think this is like, these guys are the ones who grew up with the participation awards, like thinking that all you have to do is show up to win. Like, no, fourth place is nothing, right? There's only one winner. Okay, second place is the first person who lost. Like that needs to be taught again. Like I don't understand that. It's such a sense of entitlement.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, how were they raised? Like, did your mother never tell you no? Like how
they didn't
either
like,
that or
and then there was like this just recently, 4 months ago, this little girl, 7 years old, she was being bullied by the boy in her class, and the teachers didn't do anything about it. The dad talked to their parents, nothing was done. So on recess, she was having a birthday party, and on recess she gave out the invitations and everyone got invited except for the boy who was mean to her. And lo and behold, this child's mother went to the father after school and demanded that he invite her child to his daughter's birthday party.
Way to teach your child that actions don't have consequences.
And she was like, this could have been a teachable moment. And the dad was like, this is the teachable moment. Okay. Your kid is not nice. So he's not coming. And so then she was like it was on like a like, you know, he was recording it because she was acting like Karen. And she's like, well, we're going to show up anyway. And he's like, you can if you want to. Like, how are you going to force yourself to a party you're not invited to? Like,
I feel like our society is deteriorating, and it's really sad to see. And we have a mental health crisis because people are like, I just finished for my Sci-Fi Saturday, I reviewed Cosmic Slop, and I was talking about the deterioration of society. And I found this video on Reddit of a guy who he couldn't get served at, it looked like it might have been a Dunkin' Donuts because he didn't have his mask. So he decided to pee all over the counter. In what world is that a normal reaction?
wow.
Like, something is seriously wrong with people.
Wow. Wow.
Anyways,
Wow.
maybe they need to go to the Squid Games. Maybe they need to go to the Squid. Well, speaking of which, Tony Man said that he's broke and that he would sign up for the Squid Games.
Astrid said, is this the red pill community? Misogyny has increased quite a lot lately, especially from some younger men. It is the younger men who think that, you know, their moms are like, all you have to do is, you know, show up, or here's your fourth place women. Like, no, you don't get a ribbon for fourth place. Like, you lost, you fought.
And also that a lot of times they don't recognize that it's they think that it's because they don't look like a quote unquote Chad, which it to them is like the buff guy with the money and that type of thing. It's sometimes it's just your personality. You just have a very negative personality. And the other thing is that you have unrealistic expectations. And I blame American media because we've had so many TV shows where you have the fat schlubby husband and he has a hot wife. That's not a thing that exists in real life. People like attracts like. Water rises to its own level. So if you are the fat schlubby guy, you're not going to get the Instagram chick. That's just not how it goes.
And then, like, some of the conversations that they have, like, because Reddit is kind of like on the edge of the dark net, right? And so they're like saying that, you know, a woman who's a 7 shouldn't wear makeup to make herself a 10 and should be, you know, humble herself so that she can like date a guy who's a 7. Like, dude, go to the fucking gym. Like, no, like, you don't want a fat chick. What makes you think she wants a fat guy? Like, but like,
there are people that do find, but the thing is, you got to find. The thing is, the women that do, they don't like they don't want to see their own reflection.
Right.
It's like there are women that are for you, but if you're, I don't like to use the number system because everyone looks at people differently. You and I could look at the same person and I could say he's gorgeous and you could say he's ugly. It's the same thing. So that's why I hate the number classing system, because it doesn't, it's like expecting everyone to have the same favorite color. That's not how this works. People are attracted to different things. And also, there are people like me, I don't know what you would call this, but I look at people and they become more attractive or less attractive based on their personality. Yes. So I can meet a person and think they look average.
That's the attraction, right? So like you're attracted to someone based on their the way they look, because it has to be a physical attraction, but then they become more attracted the more compatible you guys are.
Yeah. Or less attractive, because I've met people that they looked attractive when I first saw them, and as soon as they opened their mouth and started talking, it's like, no, you're ugly on the inside. So that decreases how you come across to me on the outside. So and how no one clapped that dude for that. I'm missing what Excel. Oh yeah, for the counter thing. Yeah, I've always interested in how people respond to these Karens too. No one ever like yells at them. Everyone just kind of stands there and let them do.
There's a new episode. It's not an episode, but there's a new video of a Karen on a subway who is screaming at some guy. She's sitting in the seat, and this guy is over here, and she gets up and she gets in his face and she slapped him. And
yes, I saw that.
And then like it was like this giant melee because he's trying to get away from her and she's still fighting about it. And the groceries were all over the place. And so he gets off his stop, and then she sits down and she's like, thanks guys for defending me. Like, dude, you started that.
Yeah, you attacked someone.
You what the fuck?
I don't know who told you that you could just attack anyone and that they're, you don't know who that person is. You don't even know, that could have been a undercover CIA agent for all you know, and then you now you got federal charges because you want to attack some random on the subway. I don't know. People just. We need to talk about something more positive. I don't want to end on this note. I don't even know how. Oh yeah, because Squid Games talks about society, and we ended up talking about society in this way. I love the color scheme of Squid Games. I love all that pastel.
Speaking of color scheme, I love the way your thumbnail is for Sci-Fi Saturday. I was like, oh,
thanks.
This is pretty. Like, I liked that.
It's a what do you call it?
A template?
Yes, a template from on Canva. If anyone's interested in that, because I know we have a few YouTubers in here. That Canva is a good little app that helps you make thumbnails quickly. It's kind of like Photoshop, but more simplified.
The clapper said an important fact, though. True.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we had to get it out a little bit because, I mean, I keep reminding myself that we're all going through a collective traumatic experience right now. Even though we're being told to act like everything is normal, it's not.
It's not. Like, so, I went to a film festival last night called the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival in Portland, Oregon. I did it on the spur of the moment. But one of the things that they did is you had to prove you had been vaccinated, and there was one person who couldn't get in, but like, oh well. But that festival was so amazing. That video should be up in the next couple of hours. You guys check it out.
Astrid said, did you guys notice that all the games they played were on the wall where they slept? I did not notice that.
Yes, yep. There was, because it was like they painted them in like black. Like, you know, when we see like in the same design where it's like the men's bathroom and the woman's bathroom, and so like they were playing like they had her with her head against the wall, and they were all on but we didn't actually see that until after the group got small, because they took out some of those they took out the bunks for the players that had died, and so then the games were on the wall. That was like really cool. I liked that.
I also like all the actors in this. I know some of them are veteran actors and some of them are brand new, because when I looked on the IMDb, the newer actors don't have a picture or a bio up yet, but all the acting, there's like no weak acting in this at all.
It was so fun. It was so stressful. Like,
I gotta look up someone in the chat actually said the name of the director, Song, I'm trying to say it right. Song-yeok Wang. I want to look up his other stuff to see what he's done and check it out. Check out his. Speaking of checking out South Korean stuff, have you seen Parasite yet?
Not yet.
Oh my God, you have to watch Parasite so we can talk about it.
Okay.
It's a movie. It's not a series. It's a movie.
I know. It's on my watch list, but then I I meant to watch it, but then the Squid Games, and then the Alice in Borderland, and then I got caught up with these two other series that pissed me off, because the whole series is based off one person doing something wrong over and over and over again, but somehow they're the hero. Like, it just made me mad. And so I need to get that done.
Tony Man says Crystal needs to watch Korean movie The Witch.
I have.
It's actually called The Witch Part 1 Subversion, right?
Yep,
they just finished shooting for Part 2, but there's no release date yet, so I'm excited.
I was like I had that on my playlist for quite some time, because I wanted to watch them all, but then it just like years went by, and I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and watch this movie, and I was just like, oh, I loved it. I loved it too. So much. I loved it so much. You guys know I am all things occult, and so that was like right up my fucking alley.
Question for the chat: any other South Korean gems that we missed? Astrid says,
I didn't like Snowpiercer. Everyone keeps saying, like, okay, for me, Snowpiercer was like the white savior trope, and he got on my fucking nerves. Like, I think I didn't even finish that. No, I finished it, but like, I couldn't, like, I just didn't like it because of the main character. Like, I didn't like it at all. It was like that movie with Matt Damon where he went to this space, but he was living in a town where he was the only white person there. And
and everything was sepia tone, and it was basically about healthcare. Yeah. I never remember the name of that one.
Old Boy, I Saw the Devil.
Old Boy, yeah.
Brilliant.
I saw the devil should be called I'm gonna kick your ass over and over and over again.
The Man from Nowhere.
Yeah, that one makes you cry.
I loved that. I loved that.
The Clapper Loader said the movie we're talking about, Elysium. That's why I can't remember it. Who remembers Elysium? That's a terrible title.
That was Elysium. Yep.
Mm-hmm. It's like the Hellraiser titles.
The Man of Nowhere was when he went to go get her school supplies, and the owner opens his store and he sees all these cops and he looks down on this little girl and he's like, now what did you do? Lady Vengeance all day long. All day long. That's part of the trilogy. So it's Lady Vengeance, no sympathy for no.
Wait, sympathy for Mr. Vengeance or something like that?
Okay, so it's sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Lady Vengeance, and then
Old Boy, right?
Third one. Oh yeah,
Old Boy.
Yeah. No Tears for the Dead. I don't know what that is. I
haven't seen that one. I haven't seen No Tears for the Dead.
All right.
And I know we talked about Train to Busan, but that's like the only zombie movie that made me cry. I didn't come here for this. I came here to see zombies, and now I'm crying.
What got me, what put the cherry on top of that was like, so the fat guy, so that guy and the one that we hated in Squid Games was the one that we loved, and the Train to Busan. And when he died, I was like super upset. But like when the last two were in the tunnel and they were approaching the soldiers, and the soldiers weren't sure if they were zombies or humans, and they started singing their national anthem. I'm getting goosebumps now. Like that was like, that's what made me like lose my shit. Like I was just like, oh my God, like it was so good. So fucking good.
Tony Man says Step Brothers LOL. I don't know what you're referring to. The only Step Brothers I know is the one with Will Ferrell and the other dude where he was like, we were blazing that shit up good. I like stupid movies like that. Like that and The Waterboy, Talladega Nights. That is funny. Oh, the Host was fun. Yes, that was a good one too. Now, Parasite is the same director from The Host.
Did you guys see the Housemaid?
I did not see The Housemaid, but it's on my watch list.
Fucking brutal.
What was the horror movie with the Asian lady with the scissors? That might have been that's called the Slit Mouth Woman. That might be, I don't know if that's Korean or Japanese. Let me see.
Or that comes Eastern Asian. Indian.
Or are you thinking of Inside? Because that lady had scissors also.
But that wasn't an Asian movie. That wasn't an Asian movie.
Yes, it was. Inside. Oh, wait, no. I'm sorry. You're right. It's French Extreme. I don't know why I was thinking. I still had the Slit Mouth lady in my head. Yeah, the Inside was a French Extreme movie. The Slit Mouth. Carved the Slit Mouth Woman. Yeah, that was a Japanese movie.
Tony said,
but I did see that.
Is it raining?
You're in Seattle. It should be like, is it not raining?
I'm waiting for the rains because it makes me sleep really well.
True. Yeah. I play that on. There's some really great videos on YouTube that are like 8 hours long. There's one that's rain. There's one that's beach, ocean waves, or recording of ocean waves. There's another one that just is like a starry night with like crickets and things. I love using those. I can't
see the crickets. The Thirst was good. I liked that.
Lady Snow
was fucking good, dudes. It was.
Now the Thirst. Are you talking about the one? Is that one from the 90s? I think
with the priest.
Yeah. I have not seen that one. It's on my watch list, but I don't think it's streaming anywhere. Let me look.
If you like the new show on Netflix called Midnight Mass, then you'll like The Thirst.
I saw the first episode of Midnight Mass, but I haven't watched the rest of it yet.
You know what? I'm like, I don't understand what like everyone is so in love with it for, because like every time I try and watch it, I either end up getting up from the TV and doing something else or falling asleep. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna like see what this is. I sat down, I turned it on, I woke up on like episode 6, and I'm like, okay, well, this isn't for me.
It might be a slow burn, like what was it, Castle Rock? I don't know if you remember Castle Rock or
I
Castle
like
Rock
Castle
season
Rock.
2. Yeah, I like that one. I'm trying to think of another one that was kind of a slow burn that I still liked. You know what's jumped the shark? American Horror Story. Oh my god, it's so bad now. I tried
American Horror Story like in the middle of season 2, and then I tried to watch it when it was the witch coven, but it didn't make sense that the African witches were weaker than the European witches just because of the timeline, and then I haven't watched it since.
Oh, catching up on some comments. Ebola syndrome is not Japanese. Ebola syndrome is a Chinese movie, as a matter of fact. There are a few Chinese horror movies that are pretty good that I've seen.
The Tale of Two Sisters, dude. Fuck
yes. Yeah, that was good.
And I'm glad, the Capra Loader, that you didn't like it. Like, I mean, I'm not glad that you didn't like it, but like, I didn't want to like say it out loud because everyone seems to love it. And I'm just like, what am I missing? That's why I tried to watch it again, because I'm like, is it me? Like, is it me? And people were I'm like,
I'll be the opposite opinion in a minute. I have a whole video that I remember when everyone was loving Terrifier. And I was like, this is trash garbage. I remember I named the video Unpopular Opinion because the short that Terrifier came from was really good. It was part of an anthology movie called All Hallows Eve, which happy Halloween, because we start celebrating Halloween October 1st here.
I started celebrating Halloween on August 29th, the day after.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But the short was really good. So when they decided they were going to make a full-length movie out of it, everyone was excited about it. But then when they made the movie, it was so disappointing.
It always happens that way.
The Clapper Loader also mentioned where was it? The Rain and the Cat Purring video. They listen to that at night for 8 hours. I listen to the Rain one. We have cats here, so I always hear them purring.
The Dark Side, like the American Horror Story, like the first one. And the thing I found out is each episode has different writers, so that's why it's like all over the board like that. But the first one was so like they set the bar so high that they really haven't been able to keep that same level of awesomeness as with the other seasons, and I can't believe it's still running. Like it's bad. I did like their side series that was called American Horror Stories, which was more of an anthology. Each episode had a beginning and ending point, and each episode was a different story. It was more like a Tales from the Crypt. I didn't see that. So those were much better. Oh, they're on Hulu. On Hulu, okay. But yeah, that was much better than them trying to drag out these stories that aren't. There's not enough there. I have not heard of the Terror TV show, but Evil was a good one. Did you see Evil? That was a good TV show. They're in season 3 now, but I don't have the app that it's on. I think it's on Paramount Plus. I don't have that one, so I got to wait till it comes to Netflix to see season 3. I don't have a bunch of streaming stuff. Like I just like, why? Then you just might as well get cable. Well, some of them are free, like Tubi. Tubi is the gift that keeps on giving. I love Tubi, and Viki app is free. There's two parts. I heard about the Viki app, like, but I didn't know what's on it, so I didn't. Oh, it's Asian TV shows and dramas and stuff like that. Some of them are free, and some of them you have to have like a higher tier to get access to. But that's what I started watching Flower of Evil on, was the Viki app. Okay, and they all have subtitles and everything. Is it with an I? Yeah, it's Viki. Oh, Viki. All right. I think that's the new name of Rakuten. I think it used to be called Rakuten. I could be mistaken. I tried with VHS, but nope. I really like Evil. Oh, AHS, not VHS. Yeah, Evil was good. Actually, another one that surprised me, the Exorcist TV series. Evil. Like, I liked that. That was good. Yeah, it was. And I'm waiting for a second season or another season. It's on season 3 right now. Is it really? Yeah, but it's on Paramount Plus. Oh yeah, I don't have that. Yeah, I don't have Paramount Plus. So another thing that I kind of want to come back is Tony T is right. Pluto TV is another one that's free. I'm gonna send you a list of these, Crystal. There's a bunch of free apps that have a lot of movies on them that are good. On my smart TV, but cool. Because I'm not watching that much television, No, it's called Pluto TV, but there's movies on it. No, I know. Oh, okay. Yeah, and so I just need to I need to figure it out. What was I gonna say? I forgot.
Bro, you're passing my comments. I'm hurt.
Wait,
everybody has to get a chance, Tony, man. You're being too needy.
Let's go back up and see what he said. Our point was good. It's called Carved, the Split Mouth Woman. Tell the Two Sisters was really good. The Wishing Stairs. Holy shit. That was really good. Oh my God. That's back in the day. Okay. I think we're all caught up.
There's one more. I've never watched a whole episode of American Horror Story. I tried with 1984, but tapped out. Okay. 1984 was one of the worst seasons. That's a shame that you started there. I'm like, at least Murder House was good. Asylum was okay. Freak Show I really liked because I
you know which one I liked? It was Roanoke, yeah, where they were like playing them. That was cool. I liked that. I actually watched that whole season, and my sister was like, "You have to watch it." I'm like, "I'm done with it," and she's like, "No, watch it." TV 30 coins. What? TV 30 coins on HBO. I don't have HBO.
I do have it on Amazon. Check your Amazon. You might have access to some HBO shows on there.
Super good. Yeah.
I started Marianne, but I didn't finish it. I watched the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, super good.
30 coins I did hear about, but I didn't get a chance to check it out yet. There's so much to watch in so little time. And I'm trying to keep up with like all the new releases coming on Amazon Prime. They have their own original movies coming out. Netflix is dropping movies. Netflix has dropped one called Darkest Night. I think it's called No, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. That's Amazon. Welcome to the Blumhouse. If you remember, Amazon has their original thing that they partners with Blumhouse.
I watched that. Like I've watched those. There's like a bunch of films for Welcome to Blumhouse. Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah.
Those. Yeah.
Is it Bloom? Am I saying it wrong?
Jason Blum.
Oh, Speaking of him, he is partnering with Tyler Perry, and they are the 2 cheapest mofos. I said on Instagram that now their movies are going to cost 3 Trident layers, a Groupon, and a bus pass.
I am tired of you and you saying that people are getting paid with Trident layers. Like,
hey,
oh my God.
they make. I mean, I enjoy their movies. Don't get me wrong. I'll watch a Tyler Perry movie, especially. Please tell me you saw A Fall from Grace.
I didn't.
Oh my God, Chris, you have to find that one and watch it because it's so bad it's good. Oh my God, it's so bad it's good. When I'm talking about bad, I'm talking about boom mics in frame. People are drinking from glasses with no water in them. The wigs are bad. I mean, and I'm a person that never lays my wig. I don't even pluck the edges because I'm lazy. I just stick it on my head and go. But these wigs are excessively bad, even by my standards.
All the bad wigs they can
yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I just can't do it. I can't do it.
And you didn't watch Karen yet, did you?
No, but I downloaded it and I'm like, okay, because
you don't have to. Somebody uploaded Karen to YouTube, the whole movie.
Yeah, I downloaded it from YouTube in case I take it down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I was just like, the trailer, I'm like, oh.
It's like an SNL sketch.
The whole movie?
No, I'm just saying the trailer. Like when I first saw the trailer, I saw it on Twitter and I really thought that it was a sketch. I didn't think it was real. I thought, oh, this is a comedy sketch. And it turned out being a real movie. And it really is bad. Like it's so let me tell you how bad it is. Oh, sorry. They have like this home, what do you call it? A home warming party.
A housewarming.
So number one, the main male character is wearing a kente scarf because that's something that Black people do. We just randomly wear kente scarves. Like the only time I see people do this is at graduation and sometimes at a wedding. But this dude just had it on. And so Karen invites herself to the party and they're having this conversation about something that happened on the news. And the dude that's talking actually stops and looks at a young lady sitting there and he says, yeah, Black lives matter. I'm like, it was so unnatural. And then Karen goes, well, don't all lives matter? And I said, oh my God, this is real dialogue. Why is this happening?
Not why is this happening? Oh my God.
It was just written so It was just written so terrible. It was like a person who wrote the person who wrote it. It's like they saw a Spike Lee movie, but they were half asleep and drunk when they saw it, and then tried to remake that and just didn't. There even is trumpet music at the end, but it's really loud. It's overly loud over the dialogue, and there's no like skateboard dolly shot. Like I don't know if you ever remember School Days, where there's the trumpet music playing and towards the end, and is it Lawrence Fishburne that was in it that was running around yelling "Wake up"? That's what the ending aspired to, but
yeah, I'm gonna have to like really like zen it out and find a good place for me to watch Karen, because like I was watching the trailer and I was like, why would she ask me to watch this? Like, because it's out of all the movies we've fucking done, this is the one she wants me to watch
because it's so bad, and it's kind of a new fad, I think, to make these really bad thrillers. And I've been watching them. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I never remember their names. There's the one where Kevin Costner sold his house, but he wouldn't leave. And then there's the one, I forgot the name of that movie. Somebody in the chat put that movie. Kevin Costner sold his house to this black couple. It was Michael Ealy, and I can't remember the young lady's name, but she's beautiful. She was in Shazam. But yeah, he wouldn't leave the house. And then there's another one where I think it was called The
Marion
Perfect.
Said when Karen attacked the trash can.
I laughed out loud, Marion, when she comes outside and she's like, garbage day is tomorrow, and she shoves the trash can over it and she runs back to her house, and it's so hilarious.
The reason, Tony, I keep looking back is because my dog. So yeah, that's why. Like, there's nothing back there. It's fine. I just I can see her in my viewfinder, and I was turning around to see what she was doing. And she's we got these. I went to the butcher, and they give us. Well, they don't give them, but they set aside bones with a little bit of meat on them so that we can give them to our dogs. And she's torn off all the meat, and now she's down to the marrow, and it just keeps her busy. But like right now, she's taking a nap on it. Like, she's one with the bone.
The Clapper Loader said the actress name Megan Good. Yes, she is gorgeous. And Tony T said the name of the movie, The Intruder. Yeah, it's another so bad it's good. It's like these are movies that they're kind of like the children of like Sleeping with the Enemy or what's the one? See, I always remember what happens in the movie and don't remember the name of it. Where Glenn Close had an affair with Michael Douglas, and then she was like, "I won't be ignored, Dan." That type of movie. What was the name of that movie?
God,
Fatal Attraction.
Fatal Attraction. So the remake, it's an American remake. The French original, she doesn't die.
Oh, I didn't know that was a remake. I have to find the French original.
Yep.
Well, now over the last 2 years, there have been a lot of Black movies that have been remade that are similar to like Fatal Attraction. There was one on Omar Epps was in. It was called Fatal Games, and it was pretty much Fatal Attraction, but it was Black Fatal Attraction. And then there's one that's like Single White Female. Like, they're just pretty much remaking all these thrillers from the 80s, but they have a Black cast. I think the jumping off point might have been that movie where Beyonce was fighting that girl from Heroes.
Oh my fucking God, that movie was so bad. I didn't like it. With Idris. Hey, get down from there. What are you doing?
With Idris Elba. Well, he's been in 2 of these, because wasn't that him that rang the doorbell and asked Taraji Henson that he could use the phone? And
what? No. That was a different guy. That's the one with the green eyes. Wasn't it?
No. It was Idris Elba asking he used Taraji's phone number, and then he wouldn't leave. What the hell was the name of that movie? Why do I remember everything that happens in these, and I never remember the titles.
Now I'm gonna look it up because, like, what?
Yeah. Watch the chat beat us. Let me see. It was Idris Elba. But Michael Ealy has been in these too. He executive produces some of these. Michael, that's the guy with the green eyes. No Good Deed. It was called No Good Deed.
No Good Deed. Is it him?
Yeah, it's Idris Elba.
Oh, okay. I was wrong. But isn't the guy with the green eyes in a movie like that similar?
Yes, that one was called The Perfect Man, or I think it was called The Perfect Date or The Perfect Man. Let me see. Michael Ealy. Oh, he's been in 2. There's one he was in called Fatale. Fatale.
Yes, okay. Yeah. I remember Fatale.
And he was an Intruder. He's been in a bunch of these. He was an Intruder, Fatale, and then what's the third one? The Perfect Guy. This is his career now. Marion says, I love Obsessed. That white girl was giving Beyonce the hands. Do not sleep on them. Tony Man says, anyone remember White Man's Burden? That's a totally different genre.
That was so fucking good, though. That was so fucking good. With John, did you say John Travolta? That's who was in that one. Yeah, that was super good.
Tony T says, what about Unforgettable with Rosario Dawson and Katherine Heigl? I didn't see Unforgettable.
If I did, I forgot it.
The Clapper Loader says that they saw White Man's Burden in the movie theater.
Wow.
Astrid says the movie Them, the French version.
That was super good. That was super fucking good.
But how should we wrap this up? Because it's going on 2 hours. And this week, guess what I have planned? Someone requested that I cover the Nightmare on Elm Street series. So I'm up to part 5. So tonight I have to watch part 5 and 6. And then I'll be releasing recording and releasing the videos all week of Nightmare on Elm Street. And then also, yes. And I got some cosplays.
I'm excited about your cosplays. I'm kind of disappointed you're not doing a cosplay every day for 30 days of Halloween.
I wish I could, but like I need to rest. and because the last week I do the more intensive cosplays that require more makeup and stuff. But what was I gonna say? Not only am I gonna finish the Nightmare on Elm Street, but shout out to Curly Girl at the Movies. If you guys are not subscribed, find her channel. Curly Girl at the Movies talked about this movie called Mahakal, and it is a Indian remake of Nightmare on Elm Street.
What?
And What's it has her name is Curly Girl at the Movies. And she did a review of it.
For those of you who don't know, follow me because you guys are all here because of Shasha. My channel is
I'll put it. Let me put a link in the chat. I almost forgot. I'm so sorry about that, Crystal. It's Wordsmith Crystal Connors. Yeah, and you guys have to subscribe to her because we go back and forth with doing these on my channel and on her channel.
We have the Coast to Coast Horror.
Yes.
And I also did what you asked me for our when we were in Florida. I just finished those tags that you asked me to do, so those are there. Thank you, Tony. Yes, some of you guys are subscribed, but I see some new people here, and I'm trying to grow my channel.
Yes, definitely.
So that I can be kind of cool, be kind of famous on. I really want to grow my channel more because I attend 4 film festivals a year. But next year I want to be doing more. I want to be attending as many film festivals as I am for book conventions.
Oh, very good. Also, for those that are new here and don't know Crystal, she is a published author. Over 10 books of horror. 13. Well, I said over 10. Yeah, 13 books of horror. Right. Yes.
Thank you, Clapper. And so what I'm gonna take your advice and I'm gonna just kind of figure out how to be more consistent on my content. And I can't show you, but I now have a whole little. This is my office. This is the horror den, and I have set up a recording station so that I can watch horror movies from my couch, so you guys can see all of it. Do you do live streams like this one? I do not yet.
But we will do this. When we get ready, definitely make sure that you're subscribed to her so that you won't miss when we do the live streams, because we're changing our format because we both end up having technical difficulties when we try to edit these long conversations we have, trying to edit down a 1 hour video, and my computer keeps crapping out on me whenever I try to edit long form. So I just got sick of it and I was like, let's just live stream and do it that way, because even the technology is not working with me.
I still like doing edits. So maybe you can do like, well, we'll figure it out. But yeah,
Yeah.
the live streams are fun. I love the edits because I have you hooked me up with this editing program, and it just keeps getting better and better. And what I'm gonna have to do, it's gonna force an upgrade. So normally I don't upgrade anything until I absolutely have to. And because mostly until I like started like mostly for my computer, all I need it for is memory for writing. Because I do the records and I have all these videos. Like I'm gonna either have to get a bigger system or figure out how to reduce my memory so that I can get the editing done faster. Like the editing is not what sucks. It's so once the editing is done. So like I just got done before I went live. I finished the editing for the HP Lovecraft Film Festival, and it was at 10.3 gigabytes, and so now I'm running it through Handbrake to reduce it so that I can upload it to YouTube faster. But so I'm gonna have to get a different system to cut that out, or to figure out how that I can like compress my files and upload them faster to YouTube. Once that I figure that out, it's a wrap.
What I've been doing is I have a portable hard drive that I have plugged into the big old girl back here. And I keep a lot of stuff on the portable hard drive so that the only thing that's
mine. It's like
but it's
almost
full. Yeah. So the
So-
only thing I really keep on the computer is just the software, the editing software.
I need like 10 megahertz or like gigabyte, or I don't know. This is how big is this?
I have mine is 2 terabytes.
Yeah, this is 10 terabytes and it's almost full.
Wow, that's a lot of content.
Yeah.
I'm not near full yet, but also this is an older machine. So
Mine
what
is
bothers
too.
me,
I upgraded this in 2010. So it's probably time for me to get a new computer, even though I don't want one. And then
I want one. It's just expensive for what I want. Like what I want.
Friday is coming up soon. Like all these Christmas crazies, like they're already gearing up. So like I just saw an ad, and I bought it because it was only $99.98, but it's a 65-inch flat screen television. Like, why do I need that?
Because you review horror movies and you need it for your work, and that makes it a tax write-off.
Touche. But I have a TV in my horror den. It's for the living room. Like this whole weekend, you guys who are just meeting me, I just bought a condo. I'm super happy about it. But this condo is so big that my 2-bedroom apartment fits in 2 bedrooms. Like my whole entire office, like in my apartment, my office was in my dining room, and then the living room. So like all of this was in my living room. It's in my office now. And so I have a dining room. So like this morning I got up and I'm like, I am going to eat at this dining room. I'm not going to be sitting here eating at my desk because I don't have to anymore. And then I have a huge living room that doesn't have anything in it because it's huge. And I have to like make sure the furniture fits for that space so that the furniture doesn't look dwarfed. So
Tony Man asked before we sign off if he can see your dog.
Sierra, come here. Come here, baby. Come here. Yes, you can. Come here. Come on. They want to say hi to you. Can you guys see her? Sierra. So she is a fox rat terrier. Okay, hold on. Where's the screen? There we go. So she's a fox rat terrier, and she was bred in Scotland to go in the mines. There's food on the table. See, I need to be at the dining table. Go into the mines and get the varmint out so that the Scottish miners could mine without being chewed up by varmint. She's wicked fast. In her lifetime, she has caught 2 squirrels, almost a rabbit, and she's braver than her own good.
And she has an Instagram.
Yep, and she's on Instagram. She's got her own Facebook channel. I mean, her own Facebook page. Yeah.
Marion Hope says, just curious, what are y'all's favorite scary movie?
Oh, you know what? We'll be here another 4 hours. Like, there's so many of them. Like, there's so many of them.
I will say my comfort movies are Poltergeist, Nightmare on Elm Street. Those that That's like a warm blanket. It's like I grew up on those, but also kind of more obscure stuff. And I'm one of the few people that will defend Rawhead Rex, but I love it. I don't care.
Very few people who will.
Yes, I love. Yes. What's her Instagram? I want to follow it.
Sierra's not on her own Instagram, but her Facebook page is Sierra Napoleon. Yeah.
How do you spell Sierra? I'll type it in the chat.
It's Ceaira. So Sierra Ghetto, the getaway.
There we go. Poltergeist #1 of all time. I was just saying in my review that it has the best score. Like you could play the score from Poltergeist and I can tell you what part of the movie is happening during that score. Or if I see images from the movie, the score from that scene will start playing in my head. It's just so good.
One of the most scariest things from that series, and I think it was Poltergeist 3, was when the Amish guy was walking by the window. Like for some reason, that scene has like scarred my whole entire existence. It was just so fucking scary to me. You know what I mean? Like
his
I just don't understand why.
His whole personality that you're all gonna die in there. And when he walked up to her in the little mall thing, and he was like, "Child, are you lost? Are you scared? You want me to sing to you?"
He was super scary. Super scary.
All right, I gotta say goodnight to you. I would love to talk for another hour or so, but this is why I'm not a Twitch streamer, because they stay on this thing for hours and hours and hours. Like Twitch, that's a whole nother thing. The Clapper Lord says, "I'm dead. That score, that's what made me live film scores or love." Probably makes me love.
You guys have to look at one of our we did a destination Coast to Coast Horror Destination Ohio where we talked to a sound engineer.
Yes.
And one of the movies that I watched last night, the sound for that movie was unreal. It was called The Relic. All of the films that we were watching last night had to have been inspired by H.P. Lovecraft or could not have been made without his influence, right? And so The Relic, like it's one of the best. I take that back. It is the best adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's stories that I've ever seen. The transition, it was insane. It was so insane. And I didn't mean to like spin off topic, but you guys are talking about the score. No, Clapper, this is a short film. The world release was last night, so you haven't seen it yet.
Marion says theirs is OG Candyman, which also, yes, that score is amazing.
Phantasm would be my like kind of like warm blanket movie. And Scanners, even though Scanners is science fiction, in my opinion, science fiction and horror are fraternal twins.
Oh yeah, I was watching Scanners not too long ago, and Scanners 2.
I didn't like the second Scanners.
It was just okay.
I liked the first one, and then like Firestarter, like the classics. The classics.
The Clapper Loader said Philip Glass. Philip Glass is the composer for the Candyman score. Scanners, Cronenberg. Yes, Cronenberg movies. My favorite Cronenberg movie is The Fly, 1986. Oh, I got to see that in the movie theater for my birthday. Because I used to watch the original of The Fly all the time on TV when I was a kid. Like when I was real little, I would just always watch the Vincent Price, the Fly. And then for my 11th birthday, I got to go see the 1986 Fly in the movie theater.
Yep, the 80s and 70s. Yep, we're stuck there too. But some of this new stuff is like it's kind of like blowing my mind. Oh my God.
Well, some of the new stuff. Well, the thing is, it's never been easier to produce your own movies now. But the thing is, there's a lot of people that have all the equipment, but not necessarily the skill or the artistry. People have to remember that filmmaking is an art. It's a talent. It's not something that just anybody can do, and you have to have a good eye for it. And I noticed this with a lot of the newer the newer movies that are coming out on Tubi and on Amazon that are made by independent directors, they get little things wrong, like just lining up a shot. Like when we talked about The Binding, the one I released our review for The Binding earlier today, and the first one that we talked about, the whole movie is shot in close up.
Yeah,
I mean, the whole movie is from here to here. And I wanted to say to the director, have you seen a movie before? Do you know what an establishing shot is? Do you know, you don't even need to have the big things they had. Like when they made Poltergeist, they had, if you look at the behind the scenes, they had these giant cameras that they had to use on sets, and they had to have this track laid down to get the dolly. You could literally take a little ass, look at this, the last camera. You could literally take a little ass camera, sit somebody in a rolling chair like what I'm in, and have somebody push them around in a circle and get almost the same thing. Yep. And they won't even do that. I don't know if that's laziness or just not wanting to learn how to.
It's the same thing because I'm also a film festival judge, and some of these movies, like you can tell they have like all the equipment, but the story is just not there. Like,
yes, that too.
It's like, what's was this a 48 film project? Like, you are submitting to an international film festival. Like, who do you think your competition is?
Mm-hmm. The Clapper Loader says, that's right. Just because you got an iPhone 12 don't mean you're a filmmaker, LOL. And Marion Hope says, John Carpenter's Halloween theme is, yes, it is. Yes, it is. And the Fly 86, Jeff Goldblum. They don't know the rule of thirds. Yes, Tony Man. Tracking shots. Thank you. People that like film. They just don't, everything is just so basic. I don't know whether it's people that just have money and connections. And so they make these movies, and
because the equipment is not as expensive as it used to be.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Right. Like,
and oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, because I'm a film judge. Some of these, though, like, there's this one that I can't talk about because it's we're still in the judging
under embargo.
Mm-hmm. The film, though, it blew everyone away. We're all talking about it in the private chat as judges, and it was the whole entire film is filmed on Android phones. Like, and we were like, really? Like, what? We're like, that's going to be a movie that the film festival that I'm judging for now, like 2 years ago, there was a movie that the founder of the film festival called us all up. He sequestered us and he made us like hammered out because there was like 3 films that all like had a number 10. And like these films, when we were done with them, it was the technical. It was that's how they got the film, like the film that won on technicality, not on not technicality, but the technicals, right? Because they were just so good. And he's like, we can't have this. And so he like put us in there, and we had to like watch it and fight about it, and it came down to the technical. Like it came down to the technical. And that film festival gives cash money. So like he just made us do it all over again. So
and it's important for people to know their strengths. Everyone cannot be a writer and director. Some people are really awesome directors, but their writing is not so great. Like Zack Snyder, great at directing. Your writing,
not so much.
Yeah. And hire a lighting. Why do y'all not want to hire lighting coordinators? It's important.
Because like even the lighting with our selfies, like, you know what I mean? You have to like get into the right light. Like you're filming a whole movie in the dark. Like unless you're like a director that did like Inside, the French Inside, that's not a good idea. Like, you know, like let's see what's going on.
I recently talked about that when I was talking about Tokyo Gore Police. Now that's a movie a lot of people might overlook because of the title, Tokyo Gore Police. But the lighting in it is so well done. And they use like the old fashioned type of lighting with the gels. And there's a specific scene where like the back wall is lit blue. And then this wall over here is lit, I think it was like a yellow, but then the actress's face is lit normally so that her skin still looks normal. And some newer movies, they would just put like some filter over it in post, and then the whole thing looks blue or green or sepia. And I'm like, that looks terrible. Is this time of year, fall, your favorite time of year? It is for me.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because eventually we're going to be able to go back outside again, and so that's the haunted houses and the zombie shoots, and I like this weather. I live in Seattle, so we get like 5 days of winter, but the winter is really bad here. So like a lot of people who are like Sasha, who's like used to growing up in Connecticut, and they have like 5 or 6 feet of snow, they see Seattle come to a complete standstill when we get a couple of inches of snow, and it's because of our topography, right? So back east, everything is flat. Here in Seattle, we're in hills. Like you guys need to look up. Here in Seattle, there was a school bus in the wintertime. He was from the East Coast, and he thought that he could drive in our weather conditions, and he slid down a hill and broke through a barrier, and the bus with the school children was hanging over the freeway. So we can't salt here because we have a lot of fresh waterways that need to be protected because of our salmon and our other things that are in our ecosystem, and the hills. Like you can drive in snow if it's flat and it's packed and you're driving flat. Here, it's always raining, so that snow turns to ice. And I don't care what you're driving on, you can't stop on ice. The freeway and the sidewalks are an ice rink. And so we have like these guys who have like migrated here from the East Coast who are used
we have ice there too. I don't know why they thought they could stop on ice. We have black ice, which is you can't even see where the ice is. It's called black ice. And he should have known that from where, if he was coming from the East Coast, he should have known that.
Yeah, and so the whole bus was like leaning over, and it was devastating. Like when we get snow here, it's bad because of it's just we don't get 4 months of snow. We get like 5 or 6 days, and then that shit stays for 2 to 3 weeks, and the whole city is like trying to figure out what to do, So
Tony T says Quentin Tarantino didn't go to school. He says he went to the movies to learn, which I agree. Most of the better directors never went to film school. But the thing is, the way filmmaking used to go, they used to do apprenticeships. So it's only recently been a thing to go to film school.
Right.
But some of the we're talking about filmmakers that look like they never watched a movie. And I'm like, how do you shoot a whole movie with everyone like this? If you've seen a movie, just 1 or 2, then you notice that there's different spatial
environment are part of the characters. Like, we can go on and on.
Yeah.
We can go on and on.
Tony says they know nothing about lighting, like having an actor half their face in shadow and other in light, showing good and a bad side. Trust me, Crystal, I watch Seahawks games and it's always raining. Marion says, a movie with some of the best cinematography to me is The Mothman with Richard Gere. The movie is stunningly beautiful and severely slept on, sadly. I have not seen The Mothman since it first came out, so I don't remember it too tough, but I'll definitely have to revisit it.
It is a beautiful movie. He's right.
And with that, no more questions. We got to get out of here. You're going to have me here all night. Is it rainier in Washington or Oregon? He asked.
Mount Rainier is in Washington. Mount Hood is in Oregon.
No, it says what's rainier, Washington or Oregon.
So Rainier is a mountain.
No. He's asking what is rainier, like where.
It's the same. It's probably the same. I'm sorry, I thought it said Rainier. It looks like Rainier, but yeah, no.
It probably is spelled the same. All right, you guys, thank you for being such a great chat. Like y'all really are awesome. You have good points. I love how this community is so intelligent and respectful, and just y'all are just really impressive. I like that.
We love this. This is why we do what we do, because of you guys.
So you guys have a good night. I'm not sure when we will next broadcast, but I do have some videos saved up because I had trouble editing, plus I was procrastinating. I have three more coast to coast horrors with Crystal and I to edit and post throughout the month of October, which I'll be posting them on Sundays. And then if we can get one more live stream in, we'll try, but we won't make any promises because October is a busy month.
Yeah, it is. And I have film festivals to go to. So.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, you guys have a good night.
Good night.